itong program na isasabihin mo, but you have to transmit, you have to add elements para makapture ng community yung programa. And you don't transmit the program, but you transmit projects. Nakuha nyo ba? Anyway, later on, magkaroon ako ng ano yan. Magkaroon ako ng discussion. Okay. So, nakita nyo ba yung umiikot?
Yes, sir.
Nakita nyo ba yung umiikot?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then another one is, may training from NFA ulit. May training on fire service supervision. So, these two trainings were actually my basis for, as reference for this, my course, for, I mean, my subject for you, my lecture. Okay, so, these are the course content. I believe meron ako binigay kay Ludi. But, Ludi, my apologies because I have omitted step number 5. Okay, I mean, subject number 5. Nakalimutan ko isabay. So, this is a complete version of my presentation. And I will be giving you a copy of this later on, guys. Okay? So, course outline would start with Fire Safety Education Program, Goals and Purposes. Okay? Then we have the concept of fire safety and prevention. Okay? Malinaw pa ang boses ko?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Elements, okay. Continue. Elements of a good fire safety education program. So, yung mga teachers dyan, you find this very familiar because you would understand that you need to have learning styles. You have to inject, okay, you have to inject learning styles, method of effective teaching, kasama yung public relation, you know. Akala nila program lang. Hindi. You have to add an ingredient of PR, public relation, for acceptability, okay? Para ma-appreciate ng public, there must be kung sa luto, there must be a taste of PR, okay? Then you must have a focused population. Now, our focused population is, ano bang focus natin? Pinaka-focus natin yung population. It is the what? Fire-prone areas, okay? So, with the development of Bicol, we're having what? Urbanization, di ba? So, we're targeting high-risk populations, okay? Then, evaluation and assessment. A program must have an evaluation and assessment. Hindi pwedeng pakabigay mo, hindi mo alamin yung impact. Hindi pwedeng pakasabi mo, tatalikod ka na. So, as a committed public servant, whatever you give to the public, kailangan mo makapture yung kanilang interest, kailangan mo makapture ang kanilang appreciation, and then you have to evaluate. You have to go back. You have to evaluate kung ano na ba ang epekto sa kanila. Okay? So, number 4, we have the step process of fire safety education program planning. Okay? So, dito nyo malaman what would be the steps on how to make a program. Okay? So, hindi basta-basta sinulat mo o plan, hindi basta-basta man usapan nyo, gumawa ka ng memo, naging programa. Okay? A program is requires a study. Okay? It requires a study. Hindi siya basta-bastang memo lang or basta oplan. Okay? Then we have sustainability of a program. Okay. So, paano ba ang program maging sustainable? Okay, first, that meron siyang tinatawag na political desirability. Luz, 500 ba yan? Okay. Then, meron siyang tinatawag na social affordability. Okay. Then, meron siyang tinatawag na policy promotion. Okay. So, a program is not just a program, but it should be sustainable. And these are the factors that would make a program sustainable. Okay? That meron siyang desirability, meron siyang affordability, and there must be the effort to replicate. Okay. And of course, topic number 5 would be a review of the 5 fire safety programs. BFE 5 fire safety programs, which I know you are familiar with. Diba? Madami yan sa atin noon. Bago yung LP, napakadami natin programa. And then, number 7, ano yun? Anyone? Ano yun? Okay. Okay, then number 7 would be a training activity plan. Okay, a training activity plan would be your assignment because for you to implement a program, you have to create a project. Okay? Then, before you can create a project that meron kang training activity plan. Okay, so that's really basis. So I won't require everybody or anybody to make a program kasi posible yun. But I want you to make a project, okay, through a training activity plan. So that will be your assignment. Okay, so okay ba? Any comment? Loads from anybody? None?
None, sir.
Okay, tumas ng kamay si Maricel. Hindi ba? Makaway ka lang?
Hindi naman po, sir.
Okay, bibiro ko si Maricel eh. Okay. Okay, now let's go, okay? Now, sabi nga, sa educator, before you deliver something, you have to get the level of knowledge ng kausap mo, no? Particularly when you talk about this particular subject, no? So, for the pre-test, okay, I won't require an answer from you, but these are the questions that you have to be very, very critical about, okay? So, number one, this is supposed to be a pre-test, no? So, number one, what is the purpose of a fire safety program? Okay, these are the things you must must focus during the discussion. So, what is the purpose of a fire safety program? What are the components of fire prevention? Okay, because in a program, the main objective is to prevent fire. So, what are the components of fire prevention? Alam nyo ba o nakalimutan nyo na? Alam nyo pa ba ang components ng fire prevention? Nakatawa si Ludi. Alam ito ni Ludi eh. Anyone? Kahit isa lang? You still know the components of fire prevention? Anyone? Any volunteer, Ludes? I-open mo ang mic nila o mag-type sa chat. Anyone? Wala ba nakaalala? How about si parang Rodel, Sturas?
Sir, good morning po. Sir, I think po yung fire safety inspection.
Again, pare?
Sir, I think po na isa po ng fire prevention na yung pagkakanta po ng fire safety inspection sa mga establishment. Saka yung mga ginagawang pa.
Hindi, sabi ni Lodi mali daw eh. Okay. Nakalimutan nyo na. Okay, just a review.
Sir,
Components of fire prevention. Ano nga, Lods? Sabihin mo nga, Lods.
Is it fire safety education?
Ako, Lods, break na tayo pag ganyan ang usapan. Okay. Just to give you a brief review of this. The components of fire prevention are the 3 A's and 1 I. Naalala nyo pa? The 3 A's and 1 I. Ano nga yun, Lutz?
Education, enforcement,
Engineering,
engineering,
and investigation. Okay. Because when you do fire prevention, you get your lesson from investigation. Nauna kasi muna yung fire. Parang ano ba? At bang nauna, manok o itlog? Parang ganun yung tanong eh. Di ba? So nauna muna yung problema, which is the fire. And then the result of investigation, yung ginawa mo ng intervention. So pinasukan mo siya ng enforcement, education, and engineering. Kanya ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, naalala na ba?
Yes, sir.
Parang Rodel, naalala mo na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, to continue. Okay, as for the supposed pre-test, you have to concentrate on the concepts of fire safety and prevention. Okay, because when you want to have a program, you must understand the concepts of fire safety and prevention. Okay, so what are these concepts? Okay, we have 3 concepts later on. Then, of course, we'll dwell on teaching methods, then learning style. Okay, mamaya, dapat before you end our session for this afternoon or for this day, dapat meron kayong maganitong style, meron kayong naalala. Okay, Maricel, di ba? Si Maricel, teacher ka, Maricel? Right? Teacher ka ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, teacher si Maricel. Kabisado pa ang teaching method and learning style?
Medyo na nakalimutan ko.
Kalimutan na. Ano nga yung power ng teacher? Sa lahat po ng professions, for your information, ang teachers lang po ang may power. Okay. Dapat nalalo yung power nyo. Parang Rodel, ikaw ba teacher? Teacher ka ba?
Negative.
Negative. Okay. Si Ludi teacher. Anong alod si power ng teacher? Si course coordinator natin, teacher yan. Sir, good morning. Saan si course coordinator?
Yes, sir.
Opo. Sir, teacher ka, di ba?
No, sir. I am a graduate of BS Criminology, sir.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Again, for the information of everybody, sa lahat po ng profession, ang teacher po may power, okay? Nakatawa si Miss Jansen, okay? Siguro nakalimutan yung what is the power of a teacher. Teacher ka, Jansen, di ba? Mute mo ang mic mo. Teacher ka?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sabi ko na nga eh. Basta maganda teacher yan, okay? Anong power ng teacher? Naku.
Power to motivate or to educate, I don't know.
Okay, mamaya, maalala niyan. Okay.
Sir.
So, to continue.
Sir, can sir?
Okay, sige, okay. Darius.
The motivation.
Hindi po. It starts with letter D. In the M. Teacher ka ba?
Development,
Teacher ka ba, no, pare? Teacher ka
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Oo.
Yes, sir.
Dapat sa akin kayo nag-enroll. Hindi po. The power of a teacher is the power of differentiation. Naalala nyo ba? Hindi na. Nako. Okay, so, proceed to letters number 6. Ito rin, dapat you must be able to understand the steps of program planning. Okay. If you don't know how to plan for a program, your program might lose appreciation. Okay. Later on, we'll dwell on appreciation. Okay. So let's go to the first formal lesson. Okay. Now, what is a fire safety education program? Ito na po yun. What is a fire safety education program? Its goals and purposes. Okay. And the goal of the fire safety education program is to prevent fires and the damaging impact of fires and emergencies through. Okay? Are you following me? Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
Salamat, Luz, kasi
Yes, sir.
hindi kasi naman eh. Okay. Now, number 1 is planning. Okay? Number 2 is coordination. Then we have the education of adults and children throughout. Yan. So, sabi dito, the goals and purposes of fire education program is for all citizens from preschoolers to senior citizens to learn proper actions to take pre or before, during a fire emergency. So, the goal of fire safety education program is to prevent fires, manage the impact, and what? To educate, okay, for people to take action before or even during a fire emergency. Okay, so that is the purpose of fire education program. Okay, I hope you're following me, guys. Okay, now what is it? What is the commitment of this of a fire safety education program? It is committed that not one suffers fire injury or death due to lack of knowledge or preparation. So again, simply po, the purpose of a fire safety education program is to prepare, okay? Is to prepare the public, is to prepare the community on fire emergencies, okay? So that everybody will know how to act before and how to act during. Okay. Kuha nyo na? Okay. And of course, you can only do that through planning, coordination, and education of all concerns. Okay? Now, let's the next slide. Okay. Nakikita nyo ba? Okay. In this picture, nakita nyo yung bumbero, ang bilis-bilis ng bumbero, di ba? Okay. The fireman is rushing forward out of breath. Okay? And then, tumatawag pa siya ng augmentation. Because, see, habang running forward, he was now calling augmentation, eager to save lives and properties, di ba? Ano sabi ni San Pedro? Too late.
Too late.
Diba? Bakit too late? Because to save lives and properties means you have a proactive education program. You do not bet on how fast you are. You do not bet on how equipped you are. You do not bet on how trained you are, but you bet on preparing the public. Okay? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Diba? Because when you talk of the element of response, ano bang element of response natin? What are the elements of response? Kahit isa lang. Timeliness. Diba? O, timeliness. Paano ka magkaroon ng timeliness kung malayo sa yung lugar? Diba? Paano ka magkaroon ng timeliness kung madaming traffic? Paano ka magkaroon ng timeliness kung sira-sira ang gamit mo, ang fire truck mo? So, in order to have a community protection, you must have a proactive strategy. Okay. And what is proactive strategy? Let us see. Yan. Ano sabi dyan? A good fire safety strategy delivers a proactive and fire prevention and proactive program. Okay? It deals with consequences. There is now a foresight. There is a anticipation of what will happen if a community is not prepared. Again, to prepare a community, that meron kang fire safety education program. Ulitin ko, to prepare a community, to really protect a community, is not that meron kang mabilis na fire truck, meron kang matibay na driver, meron kang kompletong gamit, ikaw ay trained. No, it's not that. According to this lecture, to this fire safety prevention program, a good program would really save the community. Okay? Now, let's see the consequences. Okay. Now, what are the consequences? So, lahat tayo bombero, alam natin yan. This all is the fire. But what comes with the fire? Loss of lives. Diba? Merong namamatay, diba? Nasunog. Loss of property. Arerian. Okay, nakita nyo ba?
Yes,
Nakita nyo ba? Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, what else? Lifelong trauma. There is a lifelong trauma. Okay? Apektado yung mental health ng tao, yung nasunugan, yung naging biktima. And what else? What else? What else? A fire incident creates setback in development. Diba? Instead, umasenso yung lugar, nagkapatayo ng mga mall, nagkapatayo ng convention center, nasunog. So instead, madaming turista, instead madaming investors, wala nang investors. So what happened is, there is now a setback in development. Okay? And then, again, consequence is, this becomes a killing blow to the economy. Yan. There is now a killing blow to the economy pag nagkaroon ng sunog. So when you talk about protection of the community, you always go back to, kumusta bang aking programa? Diba? Hindi yung kumusta ang aking gamit. But you think about a program. Is my program enough to protect the community? Is my program enough to prepare the community for emergencies? Okay? Because look at these consequences. Namatayan, nawalan ng arerian, umatras yung asenso, ano pa, mamamatay yung ekonomiya. Okay? Yan ang epekto ng consequences of fires. Okay. So let us see. Meron dito from the US. This is came from my training. Doon sa pinakita kong certificates. Ang sabi dito, yeah. Ay, ang sabi dito, ito ba to? Yan. I took this from my training, dun sa dalawang certificate. Sabi dito, public fire safety education training programs are the key to reducing the fire problem and fire death rate. Okay. People die in building fires because of construction features, the reactions of occupants, or both. So take note, construction features and reactions of occupants. Okay? Improvements in building codes can continue to assist in reducing the number of fires, but the public's reaction to fire will still determine whether occupants survive. Oh, see? Take note, the reactions of the public will determine if the occupants survive. Okay. So, sa baba, as presented, public fire safety education program, okay, meaning lectures, videos, and pamphlets alone is not enough to reduce this fire epidemic. Okay. So we need to train our public to prevent, respond, and react to fires. In the same manner, we train our firefighters to suppress them. And that means trainings for all, not only adults. Okay? And take note of this paragraph sa baba. If you want to make a difference, truly want to reduce the number of fires and fire deaths, you must go offensive. Okay? Offensive means you must be proactive. You must have a proactive fire education program in order to counter fire. Teka muna, may tawag. Yes, sir. Good morning po.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, balikan natin. This is a statement. Okay? This is a statement from authorities. Kailang si state siya. But this is true also with us. Okay? Sa atin kasi kulang akong nakikita, kulang tayong ganitong mga nakasulat. So, I have to refer to my training sa sa Fire Academy dun sa nakita yung certificates. So, according dito sa presentation, ito naka-bold. If you truly want to make a difference, truly want to reduce the number of fires and fire deaths, you must go offensive, okay? You must be aggressive, okay? And one way to be aggressive is to have a very comprehensive fire safety education program, okay? To address these consequences yung kanina, okay? Nakalagay pa dito, sell your programs and create a need among community to hear what you have to say. Okay, so, the program will not only be a program na itatago mo lang siya after, but a program that people would really crave for it, okay? Because andun yung elements ng PR, andun yung elements ng acceptability, okay? When the programs are being accepted by the community, madali yung kanilang pagsuporta. Okay, I hope you're getting me, okay? Okay, the next one is, what are the concepts of fire safety and prevention? Ludes, malinaw pa ba ako? Ludes, andyan ka ba, Ludes?
Very clear po.
Nirecord pa to? Hindi ka nag-record?
Sir, hindi kami marunong mag-record.
Sa baba, meron siyang button, record. Ipindot mo na yung record.
Sige po, sir. Record ko po.
Okay. Now to continue, what are the concepts of fire safety and prevention? Okay, number one concept is, we tell people that they can help make the world a safer place by learning about how and why fires start. Okay, yan palang ginagawa natin. We tell people that fire start by ganito. The triangle of fire, di ba? The elements of fire, okay? Then we offer countless safety tips on a wide range of timely and important topics, okay? So napakadaming topics na tuturo natin sa baba. Everything they need to know to keep an individual, his or her family, and neighbors safe from fire and related hazards, okay? Now, these statements are simplified for the following principles. Okay, now, here are now the principles of fire safety and prevention, or the concepts. Ayan, number one, di ba? Kung maalala nyo, fire prevention is everybody's concern. By just that statement, may one-liner statement, sinabi mo kaagad dyan, okay? Fire prevention is everybody's concern. Okay, so lahat dapat involved. Okay, number two. Okay, again, this is again common for everybody. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Okay, you're now again telling people that when you prevent fire, you avoid the consequences. Okay, ayan. The third one is conservation versus preservation. Okay. Saan to galing? This would pertain on how they value kanilang ari-arian. Okay. What is conservation and what is preservation? Tulad po ng pangalan natin, Bureau of Fire Protection, kung hindi nyo po natatanong, bakit ngayon siya tinawag na fire protection, hindi fire prevention? Because fire protection would mean fire preservation or preservation of everything, okay? Because when you say conservation, this would pertain to nature, okay? Conservation would refer to forest, trees, natural resources, okay? When we say preservation, you're referring to things created out of nature. Okay. The same thing, when we have this concept, sinasabi din natin that we name ourselves as the Bureau of Fire Protection because we want to preserve everything. Okay. Kaya pangalan natin, hindi siya fire prevention or fire preservation, but we say protection. Okay. Coming from this concept of conservation versus preservation. Okay. Tulad ng isang cellphone, when you protect your cell phone, nilagyan mo siya ng gorilla, gorilla casing. Then when you put those gadgets, okay, those additions of cell phone mo to protect it, what you're trying to do is preserve it. Diba? Agree? Nakuha niyo na ba? So, from our name, we're trying to tell people that andito kami because we wanted to preserve everything. Okay, we wanted to preserve you. And our adjective for that is protect you. Okay, so diyan ganun po yun. So these are the concepts of fire safety and prevention. Okay, then talking about programs, what are those things to be highlighted by fire safety education program? Okay, Lutz, am I too fast?
Sir,
Am I talking?
okay lang po, sir. Okay lang po.
Okay. So, okay. Evelyn, am I too fast, Evelyn?
Okay lang, sir. Okay lang po, sir.
Okay lang po. Okay, sige. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, what are the things to be highlighted by a fire safety education program? Okay, number one, top fire causes. Okay. In creating a program, we have to consult data. Okay. What are the top fire causes? Kasi we do not fire kung sa baril ba, we do not fire and aim. Okay? So, as a program, a fire safety education program to be effective, ang gagawin muna natin po is we aim before we fire para tamaan talaga. Are you getting me, Luz? Tama ba? Are you getting me? Anything, Luz? Andiyan po ba kayo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Nandito po.
Ulitin ko, a first safety education program, aim muna bago targetin. We do not do it like this na we target muna, we shoot muna before we aim. Kasi pag tinarget mo muna bago ka mag-aim, hindi mo tatamaan yan. Okay, so para tumugma yung programa, you have to aim first. Sisilipin mo muna. Sipatin mo muna yung target. So, one step is to know the top fire causes. What are the top fire causes in a community, in a setting? Bawa Camarines Sur. If you're going to create a program for Camarines Sur, you have first to consult your data. What are the top fire causes? Okay. what are the regional risk? Ano bang epekto sa development? Okay. One example for this, if I don't know if you're doing this, maybe you've read a copy of my report sa NEDA, wherein yung estimated damages, kinumplement ko siya into economic losses. Okay. Regional risk. Now, if you would be having a high rate of damages, this would injure the region, okay? It would what? It would be a setback to development, okay? And third, okay, seasonal fire causes. Again, sisilipin mo, you have to go back to your data. Sisilipin mo po yung seasonal fire causes. What are seasonal fire causes? For example, during like the season of September, baka madami ang candle fires, okay? In Albay, in 2014, nagkaroon sa Albay ng wildfire. It was in Rapu-Rapu, and it was considered a seasonal fire. Di na po yun ulit at sa Bakakay. So you have to take note of this. And firecrackers, okay? Seasonal fire din yan because it happens in the months of
December.
Actually, Ludes, when I was a chief IID, I have a program, I have a project. Ang project is months monitoring. Because in the history of Bicol, during my time, nagkaroon ng sunog sa Bicol related sa firecrackers. Hindi December, hindi January, but September. So, I started that project when I was a chief IID before. I was a chief IID for almost 7 years. And I started the project months monitoring. Ibig sabihin po, September, October, November, December, and plus January. So I started the monitoring because of these reasons, okay? Seasonal fire causes. And number 4, you have to focus your program to a specific group, okay? You have to consider these groups, okay? Ayan, alam niyo na PWDs, etc. Okay. Now, also, yung behavioral risk. Okay. In tobacco, anybody from tobacco? Si Peter Marinda, okay? Alam niyo to, there was a case of juvenile first setting. Di ba, Peter? Di ba, Peter Marinda?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes, sir. Copy, sir.
Opo, I even encourage yung investigator, yung awardee natin that they should document this. Because hindi lang tobacco ang meron kaso nito, but tobacco lang na-highlight, but meron din itong kaso ata sa ibang lugar. I know because I was then the chief IID. So sabi ko, ipunin natin yan and let's make a book or a document documenting juvenile first setting. And this can be a case, depende natin dalhin sa DSWD for their action. Okay. And another one, sa behavioral risk, I think in mahaba ito eh. It was a 6 months scare, arson scare. Kung saan po, if you know yung APSI mo, sa Albay, Lods, alam mo APSI mo? Lods?
Yes, sir. Opo.
Okay. Yung APSI mo, nagpapalabas siya ng advisory, usually tungkol sa disaster, sa bagyo, sa lindol, sa baha, etc. Okay. But during those time, I think 2004 ata to, 2004, nakalimutan ko siya, basta this started from February to 6 months siya eh. Nagpalabas yung APSI mo ng arson scare. An advisory and warning scare because nagkaroon before ng sunog sa Albay, sinunog ata 3 hospital dito sa Albay, isang simbahan, dalawang simbahan, nakasama yung Untitled Chapter, yung mataga BU alam nila to. Ang naubos lang na totaling na naubos ng sunog ay yung Untitled Chapter, okay? But yung naagapan yung hospital, yung Esteves Hospital, naagapan yung Aquinas Hospital, yung UST Now, naagapan yung BRTTS Hospital, yung simbahan ng Legazpi, naagapan. Ang hindi naagapan po, yung Untitled Chapter. And then, from Albay, pumunta sa Naga, yung arsonist. Sinunog yung Ateneo. Nasunog yun. Di ba, Jansen? Nalala mo pa? Nasunog yung dalang classroom ata yun. Sinunog yung Sibisua, if still remember, sa Pili. And just inform you, according sa A1 information, to be considered when you have your safe education program. Because hindi ang program, hindi lang siya para sa lahat. But a program must be, what? Situational. Halimbawa, Albay. Ano dapat ang angkop na programa sa Albay? Ano dapat ang angkop na programa sa Camarines Sur? Ganyan eh. Parang geographical dapat ang treatment. A program must consider all these atrocities or all these things that are existing. So you have to go back to your data. Ano bang nangyayari sa region? Ano bang nangyayari sa bawat probinsya in order for you to come up with a very good program? Okay. Okay, now what are the steps in creating a program? Okay, this is the normal step in creating a program, the normal program steps. Okay, so number one step is assess the need. Okay, yung this is the normal process of creating a program. Okay. Second is identify and prioritize. Okay, ito yung sinasabi kanina, you have to go back to your data. Ano bang sitwasyon sa Camarines Sur? Ano bang sitwasyon sa Sorsogon? Ano bang sitwasyon sa Catanduanes, for that matter, no? You have to identify and prioritize. Okay. Then, step 3, set goals and objectives. Of course, pag nakita mo identify mo yung need, okay, you have to set goals and objectives. Again, set goals and objectives would pertain to what? Different situations. This must be applicable to all those things that you identified, okay, and required for prioritization, okay. Number 4, you now have to develop your strategy or intervention, okay. Of course, normal yan, okay. Next one, implement it now, okay. After you have your need assessment, you identify and prioritize, you set goals and objectives. After you develop a strategy, next step is you implement it, okay. Implementation is the next step. And last is, sabi ko nga, evaluate. Okay. You monitor the outcome, you monitor the output, and evaluate. Ibig sabihin po, titingnan mo kung gaano kabisa, di ba? That is why po, when I was the PIS NCO before, I think it was in 2004, ang boss ko noon si Sir Marshall. Nagpalabas kami ng memo, if malala nyo noon, that whenever you submit a report, whenever you submit an accomplishment report, okay, dapat sa kwento mo, meron kang analysis. How effective is the program? Base yan doon sa report ninyo sa FSES, okay, sa operation, okay. And I started this when I was also the Fire Prevention NCO before, okay. Yung nakakaalam sa akin, I was also the Fire Prevention officer before, and sabi ko, whenever you have your upland, when you submit your voluminous report, kailangan sa harapan niya, hindi lang siya endorsement, but you must be able to have a write-up, an analysis of saan bang area tumalab yung programa, yung upland. Saan bang area mahina? Bakit siya mahina? Bakit siya matibay? Diba? Sa area na to. So, that was my program before, my project before, na I was a chief FSES, okay? I was chief FSES before, I think for 6 years. And then I was then the PIO NCO, PS NCO, and it was a carryover. So, pinaghalo ko yung umpisan ko sa FSES and then dala-dala ko sa PIO, which really would give substance doon sa program, okay? And this is now, yung tinatawag na monitor the implementation, and now you have to evaluate the outcome. Okay, that was it, okay? Now, how about creating a program for creating a program for, creating a fire safety program. Ano bang steps ng fire safety program planning? Okay? Okay, now these are the steps of a fire safety education program. Okay, number 1, community risk analysis. Okay? I know everybody's familiar with this because meron tayong tinatawag na CFPP. If you're implementing the OLP, ginagawa natin ito. Are you still there, Ludes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Apo.
Okay.
Yes,
Malino ba
sir.
Malino bang
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Malino bang presentation ko?
Very clear. Very clear po.
Okay. Okay, again,
Very clear.
ulitin ko, the first steps in creating a fire safety education program, you would start with community risk analysis. Okay. And community risk analysis is being done during your CFPP. You know, you have your Oplan Ligtas Pamayanan, meron kayong community fire protection planning. So, yun ay tinatawag na community risk analysis. Okay? Then the second step is develop community partnership because we admit that there must be appreciation ng publiko. Okay? There must be appreciation in order for them to really support and appreciate what are we trying to do for them. So you develop partnership. Okay? Later on, I will show you a lot of partnerships that we have initiated sa region sa panahon ni Sir na Kapus. Okay? Okay? The third one would be create an intervention strategy. Okay? Diba? After you identify the risk, you now have mga kasangga, meron ka ng partners, okay? Then you create a strategy involving those partners, okay? Because we work through the principle of cooperation. We do not work alone, but we need the community to work with us. So we need an intervention that involves the community, okay? The third one is sagutin ko muna ito isang text lang. Okay, so the fourth one is you now implement the strategy. Okay? From the strategy, have you created the strategy, you now implement the strategy. Of course, kasama ulit po dyan yung ating community partners. Implement na the strategy. Okay? Again, sabi ko, why do we need to have partners? Because we work through the principle of cooperation. Okay? We have community partners. We have people cooperating with us because without this without their cooperation, the program would fail. Because they are the beneficiary of the program, therefore, they must have appreciation. Now, if they have appreciation, they will go partner with us. Okay? And that will make our implementation very, very effective. Now, what's the last one? The last one, now again, evaluate the result. Okay? So, these are the steps in creating a fire safety education program. You start with community risk analysis. Then, you proceed to develop developing community partnership. Okay? Para meron tayong, this will also be sort of a consultation with the public. We go to them, kalibitin natin sila, ito pong nakita naman na problema, and then, with them, you not try to create, what? An answer, or a remedy, or an intervention strategy, okay? And then, now, you proceed now to implementing the strategy with the support of the community, okay? And then, of course, the last one would be, evaluate now the result, okay? Now, let's have a more comprehensive discussion, okay? Now, when you think of, again, going back, when we talk about evaluate the result, naalala niyo ba yung ugnayan sa barangay? Anyone? Answer anyone? Naalala niyo yung ugnayan sa barangay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. In 2015, kung naalala ni Jansen, are you there, Jansen? Good morning, Jansen.
Yes, sir.
Opo, naalala mo ba yung yung Association of Fire Arson Investigators dyan sa Kamasur? Naalala mo?
Yes, sir, mga
Okay.
investigators.
I was invited by them. I was invited by the Camarines Association of Fire Investigators in 2015 in a panel during one of their meetings, during one of their conferences. It was held in a University of Nueva Cáceres. Tama ba? Sa UNC? Dean Balieras. Tama ba, Jansen?
Parang
Baleares ba?
kasama doon.
Hindi kasama doon?
Opo.
Andun si Roxanne, andun si Marlene, andun si Ma'am Barandon. Ang daming ano eh. I think it was 100 plus participants from Camarines Sur. They were all fire investigators. Doon kami sa kay Madam Baleares. UNC ba 'yon? O College Foundation?
Hindi po ako
College Foundation.
Ano yun, sir? Nagka-college po, sir. Nagka-college.
Okay. Nagka-College Foundation. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Nambalares. Nambalares po.
Now, during the presentation po, there was one presenter. Sabi niya, I would like to inform everyone that we have only one fire incident for the day, for the year. And of course, palakpakan po lahat, because imagine they were able to achieve only one fire incident for the year. And during the question and answer, natanong ko siya, so what was your strategy? What was your strategy that you were able to have one fire incident for the year? Okay. Luz, merong maingay?
Napakalita, kanina at yan eh. Sir, sumangin pa po.
Okay. Okay na? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Natanong ko siya, what was your strategy that you were able to have one fire incident for the year? Ang sagot niya, kasi sir, ginamit naman yung ugnayan sa barangay. So, of course, palakpakan ulit. Okay, kasi they were able to apply or utilize yung ugnayan sa barangay effectively. Now, my next question was, what was that component ng ugnayan sa barangay that resulted to that one fire incident, and also would be a very good strategy to have a zero incident for next year. Nakuha niyo ba ang tanong ko? Ano ba yung ginamit niyo doon? Ano ba andun sa ugnayan sa barangay? Ano ba yung component doon sa ugnayan sa barangay na tumalab doon sa kanilang strategy? And then, pwede nilang gamitin na matanggal na yung fire incident na isa sa next year. The answer was, hindi nila alam yung components na ugnayan sa barangay. So what I did was, I took the microphone and I took center stage, and then sinabi ko doon sa grupo ano yung components, okay? And I did a lecture sa components. And for you also, I would be sharing with you, the components of ugnayan sa barangay are, first is consultation, number 2 is orientation, third is risk identification or pre-fire planning, and fourth is evaluation. Okay, because in the first thing you do when you go to the community is to give them an ear. Okay, harapan muna, face-to-face muna. Okay, good morning po, kami po mga taga-Bureau of Fire. Ano pong nakita nyo dito na pwede pagmula ng emergency? Ano bang andito emergency? May baha ba? May sunog? Pwede pagmula ng sunog? So you have to lend an ear from them kasi silang andun sa area. Okay, so we have to give a consultation muna dun sa kanilang mga key personnel of the barangay. Okay. Then after hearing what they have seen, what they have experienced, bina ba sila, ilang beses ba sa nasunugan, then you go now to step number 2. Okay, orientation. You orient yourself, you orient also the key persons of the barangay of the hazards in their community. Okay, doon na yun, orientation. Then you know include number 2 and 3, risk identification and pre-fire planning. Kasi when you say pre-fire planning, you now go into contingency planning kasi nakita mo na sa orientation mo, of the area, nakita mo na yung mga hazards. Now, you go now to risk planning or contingency planning in order for that the areas to be identified by the barangay. And the fourth one is your evaluation. Tulad ng CFPP, after you created your planning, you know, go into simulation. So, didrill mo na sila dito. So, those were the component. Dagdag po yan dun sa evaluation ng result. Okay. So, what happened dun sa naging conference ng Fire Investigators that hindi lang kami natuto sa kanila, but sila din natuto sa amin sa mga panel. Okay. Now, to continue, again, to expound more on the 5-step process of fire safety and prevention and education planning. Okay. Ito, yung kanina, conduct a community risk analysis. Ang sabi dyan, a community risk analysis is a process that identifies fire and life safety problems and the demographic characteristics of those at risk in a community. Okay. Now, what the question is, what is this process? Okay. How is this process being done? Paano ba itong process na you identify the fire and life safety problems and the demographic? Okay. Again, ang sagot nga dito yung components ng barangay ugnayan dati. Okay. Ano yung, again, kwento ko? Ano ulit yung process na ugnayan sa barangay? You do your consultation, you hear them out, you do your orientation, naglibot ka, then you do your risk identification or pre-planning, nagplano ka na ngayon, gumawa ka ng mapa, and then your evaluation. That is now what you say a community risk analysis. You have now this process. Okay. So for us, for you to have a process on the conduct of community risk analysis, babalikan mo yung steps ng ugnayan sa barangay. Okay. Step number two in fire education planning, okay, or creating a program, is you develop now your community partnership. Okay. Ang sabi dyan, a community partner is a person, a group, or organization willing to join forces and address a community risk. Okay. Now you create, again, under the theory of cooperation, you must be able to convince people, you must be able to convince the community that kailangan nilang tumulong because this is for them and they would have a very good input on how to address them with our expertise. Okay, so we are considered as expert plus them because they know what is the real situation. When you add these two together, nagkaroon tayo ng magandang strategy later on the third part. Okay. Now, continues in step number 2. The most effective risk reduction efforts are those that involve the community in the planning and solution process. Yan, kasabi ko pa lang. So, we go to step number 3. Luz, mabilis ba ako? Luz?
Sir, miss, okay lang po.
Okay.
Hindi
Salamat.
naman po.
Okay. Okay, so step number 3, you must be able to create an intervention strategy. Okay, ano sabi dito? An intervention strategy is the beginning of the detailed work necessary for the development of a successful fire or life safety risk reduction process. Okay? And then the most successful risk reduction efforts involve combined prevention interventions. Okay. Now, ikita nyo ba? When you create your intervention strategy, this would carry on prevention, focus on dun sa nakita nyo mga risk. Dun sa step number 1. Okay. The number 4, ayan. And what are these intervention again? Intervention, sabi ko nga kanina, the interventions are the components of fire prevention, which is education. Okay. Education would mean providing information about risk and prevention. Number 2 strategy would be engineering. Okay, using technology to create safer products or modifying the environment where the risk is occurring. Like a building, kailangan ng fire extinguisher, kailangan ng alarm system, kailangan ng ng fire sprinklers. This is fire engineering. Okay, if the program is focused on establishments, you create engineering, you combine education, engineering, and you also do enforcement. Okay, enforcement. everything must be within the prescribed by the law. Okay, we have the RA 9514. This is the basis now of matawag yan, the margin of safety. The fire code provides the margin of safety ng isang establishment or ng education program, so everybody will be safe. Okay, then of course we have the investigation. Okay, because sabi ko nga sa question that anong nauna, itlog ba o manok ba o itlog, the same thing sa atin. Ano bang nauna? Regulation or the problem? Of course, nauna muna yung problem. The problem is the fire. And then we investigate the fire. The result of the investigation, we now create intervention. We now try to regulate. Kaya meron na tayo pong regulation, which is not the code. So these are the considerations for creation of an intervention. Okay, for creation of a program. Okay. Okay. Number 4. Yan. You now proceed to implementing this strategy. Okay. What is this? Ang sabi dito, implementing this strategy involves testing the interventions and then putting the plan into action. You know, test your intervention and put the plan into action in the community. Okay? It is essential that the implementation is well coordinated and sequenced appropriately. Okay? Implementation occurs when the intervention strategy is put in place and the implementation plan schedules are followed. Okay, so when you have a plan, diba? When you have a plan must have what? Must be sequential. Okay, so di pwedeng mauna yung output dun sa meet ng plan. So you must have to follow the steps by steps. Okay, it must be sequential. Your strategy must be sequential, okay? Like when you do your plan sa barangay, when you do your risk analysis using the steps of plan sa barangay, you do not go simulation first, diba? But you go first to consultation. Alamin mo muna yung problema na experience ng mga tao sa isang lugar, and then you confirm it by going around, by orientation yourself, and then yung mga tao nagsabi sa problema nila, you try to go with them, you try to invite them to go with you during your risk analysis, your orientation of the area, and then both you and that person and those council, kung council sa barangay, both parties, the BFP and the council, would now go into planning. Okay, create na kayo ng mapa nyo, risk map nyo, and you now create your contingency plan. Okay. And then, when you create your contingency plan, you now test the plan. Kaya nagkaroon ka ng simulation. So, the same thing, when you do implement your strategy, you don't go muna doon sa last, but you follow the steps. Okay? It must be sequential. Okay? The number 5, ito na. Evaluate the results. Okay? Ang sabi dito, the primary goal of the evaluation process is to demonstrate that the risk reduction efforts are reaching target populations. Okay, have planned impact, demonstrate the reduction of loss, and then the evaluation plan measures performance on several levels: outcome, impact, and process objectives. Okay, so when you do your evaluation, dami mong titingnan. Hindi lang gumalaw yung tao, but what are the effects? Okay. Will this demonstrate the reduction of loss? Okay. Kumusta yung outcome? Kumusta yung impact? At saka yung objectives, the process objectives. These are the things that you have to look out for when you do your evaluation. Even when you do your drill and simulations, dapat you must follow these criteria. Otherwise, ang nangyari, lalo na when you do your, as example lang natin yung simulation, ang nangyari, nakarating yung mga tao sa safe area, palakpakan sila, tapos na. So that is not the point of you doing your simulation. A simulation, dalawa po yan. When you say assessment, when you say evaluation, when you do simulation, when you do evaluate through simulation, you try to assess. I mean, this is an evaluation. A simulation is an evaluation and a test. Okay, you test the action and you evaluate the outcome. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng simulation natin. Okay, so those are the five process of fire education planning or fire education program making. Okay, now we go to sustainability of a program. Gusto niyo pa ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gwapo ba ako sa video?
Very good.
Okay. So, let's continue. Okay. Sustainability of a program. Okay, sabi dito, a fire safety program must have 3 factors. Okay. What are these factors of acceptability? Okay, sabi ko baga, acceptability would means appreciation. Now, what are these 3 factors of acceptability? Number 1 is we have the political desirability, we have the social affordability, and policy promotions. Okay? Again, to explain what is acceptability, acceptability means a community-friendly program or policy. Okay? It regards every community individually, taking into account the realities and uniqueness of its situations and its real needs. Okay, so hindi siya pwedeng bulang isang buo, but it must be consultative. Okay, you must go back to your data. You must do your ano yun sabi Jansen natin, parang sinasabi natin before, environmental scanning. You know, when you have in investigation, even in planning, you must have use the principle or the theory of environmental scanning. Okay, so hindi ka gagawa ng program na wala kang consultation. Okay, wala kang wide idea on nangyari sa palibot mo. Okay, so again, acceptability would mean you have to take account into the realities, the uniqueness of the situation and its real needs. Okay, and your aim should make the community a better place to live in and improve the lives and situations in the community over time. So that is the meaning of acceptability. Okay, and so what is political desirability? Okay, diba? Again, acceptability has 3 factors: political desirability, social affordability, and policy promotion. Okay, now what is this political desirability? Yan, nakalagay dyan. Okay, carry to read with me. Means it must be ethically desirable for involved actors under the participatory recipe. Okay, so we have a recipe or a theory, okay, or a principle where it derives the attractiveness, okay, of the program from the assumption that there is direct and mutually reinforcing link between the virtues of direct participation and the efficiency, effectiveness of policies that emerge under such conditions on the other. Okay, nakuha nyo ba? There must be a mutually reinforcing link between the virtues of direct participation and the efficiency, effectiveness of policies. What is this policy? Now, a program, after the program is created, it will now become a policy. A program itself is a policy. Okay. Itong programa ko ngayon, dapat gawin namin. Therefore, ito rin ang polisiya na gagawin namin for this particular area or particular problem ng sa fire. Okay, so the policy here refers to the program. Okay, now one example for this is our OLP. Okay, one very good example for this is our OLP, where inilagay ko dito sa baba the community versus OLP. Okay, wherein bawal na po ngayon yung face to face. Do you agree with me? Kasi merong COVID, di ba Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the OLP now would tend to be what? Would tend to be ang tawag doon, obsolete. Okay. Obsolete because yung original po ng OLP is that there should be face-to-face. Pero meron na po ngayon nilabas na bagong memo kung paano implement yung OLP. But then, going back dito, community versus OLP, when you say the OLP is a program, hindi siya masyadong comprehensive. Okay? Because before kasi, if you recall, napakadami natin programa. Meron tayong stop, drop, and roll. If you still remember those, meron tayong, ano pa, Maludes, meron tayong
Edits.
edit, meron tayong house, diba? Ang dami. This time, pagdating sa OLP, na-focus yung OLP sa barangay natin. Na-focus sila sa barangay. So, what we're trying to do sa barangay is CFPP, planning, organization ng CFAG, and then, sa planning kasi kasama dun yung identification ng mga red areas, sa far-point areas, and then, babalikan natin sila, di ba? And then, karoon tayo ng simulation. So, this was focused on the community, on the barangays. Hindi na-mention yung schools. Although there was a proposal for the schools, hindi na-mention yung offices. So, in terms of appreciation, ano po, kahit kayo mismo, para tayo fire, in terms of appreciation, hindi siya naging comprehensive. Okay, it's not comprehensive, but this is a very good program. Although, during our training, meron nilabas doon yung FSID ng program for schools. Yet, hindi pa siya na-implement. Nabuto tayo ng COVID. So, this is a case of community versus OLP. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, hindi tayo nagkaroon ng comprehensive. So, acceptability, ang tanong ng iba, paano yung sa school? Paano yung sa opisina? Paano yung sa industrial establishments? So, hindi yun nakasama sa ating program ng OLP. And OLP is considered as our sabi nga, kasagutan doon sa ating 2034 na commitment. Because ano ba yung LUDS yung natin, yung 2034 commitment? A modern fire service,
Fully capable.
fully capable,
Ensuring a fire safe nation.
fire situation by 2034. Okay. When you say fully capable, okay, very good. Very good. Sino yon? May ano yun sa akin? Plus 10 sa grade. Sino yon? Okay. When you say fully capable, it doesn't mean fully equipped, okay? But the BFP has at its side the communities are fully capable of ensuring a fire safe nation by 2033. Ibig sabihin po, the BFP now, the community are working together. So we are now able to ensure a fire safe nation by 2034 with the cooperation of the community. And one sure way, and one key strategy is the OLP. Kaya lang, kulang pa yung ating programs for this. Okay. Okay, to continue, what is social affordability? Okay. Social affordability means a clear understanding of the benefits of a program where a program is categorized under social protection. When you say social protection po, it impacts on poverty and vulnerability. Okay. So it becomes a basic protection. Okay. A program or fire safety or a fire safety program or fire safety prevention program must be understood as part of the basic protection program ng community. It must become a basic social services. Okay? Must be part of the basic social services. Kung kailangan ng food, kung kailangan ng water, kung kailangan ng tirahan, kailangan din nila dapat ang fire protection. So, a program must have the element or the factor of social affordability. So, this must be regarded as part of social protection. Okay? And this is impact on poverty and vulnerability. Okay, to continue, the program must provide answer to prevailing problems on specific fire hazards on specific areas. Okay, so hindi siya generic, but a program must be focused. Specific dapat siya. Hindi siya, how do you call this? Hindi siya macro. Macro siya in a sense, but the contents of a program must be micro. Must be kailangan naka-situate siya. A program must address different situations or those founded risk or those founded problems sa inyong ginawang assessment. Okay. So this must address specific for hazards on specific areas and how does it affect poverty, livelihood, and vulnerability. Now, if you want to know more, if you want to read more on specific for hazards, specific areas would pertain to urban areas, rural areas, coastal areas. If you want to read more, there is a research on this Okay, the research is entitled Vulnerability Assessment of Legacity and Specific Air Hazards. Okay, you must be able to have a copy of this. Okay, libre naman yan binibigay ng author sa research. This was published on December 2019. Okay, and meron pa siyang meron pa siya yung author, meron pa siyang upcoming research yung policy implementation effects on the fire frequency in Bicol. Okay, so these are very good resources that will assist you in your program. Okay. Do you want to have a copy of this?
Yes, sir.
Ha?
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Opo. Kilala niyo yung author nito?
Yes, sir.
Kilala niyo yung author nito, Rudy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the author. Okay, siya pang author niyan. So the author is would be very glad to give you a copy ng study para magkaroon kayo ng guide on how to have a program, social affordability as an element of your program. Okay. So next slide. Ayan. Policy promotion. Okay. So what is this policy promotion? Okay. Policy promotion means Ludes,
Yes, sir.
shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. We're now in policy promotion. Close the door, please. Okay. Policy promotion. Okay. This means the goal. Policy promotion means to stimulate action from people or organization. Okay. Policy promotion. We stimulate action from people or organization of a target population. Okay. So sabi ko nga, when you do your risk analysis, you try to identify sino ba yung apektado masyado ng problema ng fire. Okay. Kung sa OLP, meron tayong tinatawag na, sa CFPP, meron tinatawag ng mga red areas or far-prone areas. Okay. So you would try to stimulate action by your program. Okay. That way, your program is being promoted. Okay. Okay, so promotional goals include creating awareness, providing information, creating and identifying potential partners, as well as teaching potential service clients what is needed to replicate the services provided. Okay, yan. So, meron siyang appreciation. Dito na rin yung word na acceptability, di ba? Lahat na to, acceptability. So, people who tend to imitate or people who tend to make it their normal, a part of their normal, daily normal activity, the services you have provided for them. Like, for example, tinuruan mo siya mamaya, pakita ko sa iyo yung tinuruan mo yung tao ng visual supervision ng lugar niya, okay? Or visual inspection, ganun. So, pag nagawa niyo yun sa araw-araw, you have now stimulated you have demotivated them, and then, of course, you would try to replicate. Ginagaya na nila ngayon, okay? Now, again, for policy promotion, one classic example is the recently concluded webinar, Fire Safety First Tourism Project, okay? Policy promotion. For this COVID, nagkaroon tayo ng problema because, this is not about fire, but this is an example, this COVID, nagkaroon tayo ng problema sa natasan tayo na mag-decontaminate ng surfaces. Okay, now, if the program is for the BFP, we're talking about not a fire safety program, but a program na ang COVID ng fire. Okay, natasan tayo magkaroon ng contamination. That's a big program. The problem is how do we implement it? Okay, tulad ng OLP, kailangan natin na pasukin lahat ng areas, di ba? Tulad ng hindi lang barangay, hindi lang kung sa COVID, hindi lang checkpoints, hindi lang mga opisina, di ba? But we have sectors. We have the tourism sector, and we have the tawag dito yung ano nga, Ludes? Yung transportation sector. Okay. Yung transportation sector kasi, iba yung tao, akyat baba din sa sakyan. So, they also are qualified for decontamination sa atin. So, wala naman yan sa big program natin, ano? But the challenge, tulad ng first safety program, we try now to create a project for decontamination, ano? Just to give you an example, nag-cross tayo para to give you more imagination ng how to create a program. For the COVID, we created a project, okay? And the project is the safety first tourism project, wherein we partnered with Department of Tourism, okay? Kasi problema nga natin is acceptability, ba? Nakalagay dito, and the problem was lack of acceptability. So we created a program with the Department of Tourism, and we achieved a program goal with the webinar on safety first tourism. Okay, so this was conducted last August 25 to 26. Okay, now with the lack of acceptability ng BFP, kasi doon lang tayo sa checkpoint, doon lang kayo sa pasada, doon lang kayo sa nag-request, we failed now to address isang problema. Hotels, okay, in the transport sector. So, this time, we created yung CRS, we created a project with the tourism, and we were very successful, okay? In fact, sabi ng director ng tourism, this was a very good project, okay? Now, from this example, we go to the question, how do you achieve a program? How do you implement a program goal? Okay. Pag meron ka ng program goal, o meron ka ng isang programa, how do you now implement a program? Di ba kanina? Program planning. Ba yun? Steps in, program planning. Sustainability of the program. This time, the question would be, how do you implement the program? Okay. Nakalagay dito, you divide the program into goal-focused projects. Okay. So, halimbawa, program 1, project 1, plus project 2, plus project 3, this should equal to the program. Diba? Kaya pag meron tayong are you familiar with PRA? Program Review Analysis? Class? Anybody? Anybody? Are you familiar with the PRA?
Yes,
Do
sir.
anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Ano ibig
sir.
sabihin ng PRA? Anyone?
Program Review Analysis.
Okay. So, when you say program review analysis, hindi lang po yan na lahat ng data, pinasok mo dyan, yun na yun. Okay. The data would represent the program and you have to add analysis. Kaya baka meron kang tinatawag na comparison. Meron kang tinatawag na kukunin mo yung past versus present. Kukunin mo yung rate of increase or decrease. Because you're now doing your analysis. You're not doing evaluation. Diba? Program review. You review the program. The program now would represent the data, yung mga table nyo. You review would pertain to the rate. Tumas ba? Nag-decrease ba? O nag-increase? And then your analysis would pertain to ano na ba ang nangyayari? Are we going forward with the program or not? So, dapat meron sa program review analysis, meron kang isang page. Hindi lang siya issues and problems, but you would have a page summarizing all those increases, all those decreases. You would have them in one page. Analyze, meron na siyang analysis. Are we going forward like 20%? Are we going forward sa investigation like 50%? Or wala, di man tayo nag-forward dito sa ginagawa nating programa. So, when you speak of a program, you have to divide them into projects or goal-focused projects. Like the program of the BFP, diba? Napakadaming division because each division has its own projects in order for the program of the BFP to be achieved. Okay, so again, kanina, you learn what is a program, how do we plan, or program planning, the 5 steps, and what are the, how to sustain a program. And this time, how do you achieve a program? Okay, diba? So you divide a program into goal-focused projects. Okay. Now, a very good example nga, hindi siya fire safety program, but a program on decontamination. Okay. Ito yung project namin ni RT. Okay. Yung project natin with tourism. Nakita niyo ba, Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ayan. Ayan. Now, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example ng ano. Nakita mo tulos na mapa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this is a map of atin lang ito ha. This is just for academic for in pursuit of in pursuit of educational the truth. Okay. When we speak of program kasi merong mga sa baba na problema din sila, how will they go forward with programs kasi hindi siya ang program natin kasi hindi masyadong comprehensive. Okay, now looking at this map, okay, meron kang makitang red is basahin mga lusing red.
Unreachable barangay.
Okay, nakita niyo yung gano'n yung green.
Yes, sir. Reachable barangay.
Okay, yung isa sa baba.
Water hydrant.
Okay. Now, when I went to that fire station, I think it was in summer, and I was having my OCC, doon kami nag-research, I happened to see this map. Natanong ko sa kanila, ilan ba ang running card mo? Okay, again, this is related with a program. Ilan ba ang running card mo? Ang sabi nila, okay, hello, I'm back. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Lutz, okay ba kayo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Natanong ko sa kanila, ilan bang ilan bang running card nyo? Ang sagot nila sa akin, isa. Isa lang running card nila. Okay. Sabi ko, saan ba nakafocus yung running card nila? Doon lang daw sa reachable barangays ang running card nila. Which is, often. Diba? Tapos kung sabi mong unreachable, di mo mararating siya kasi unreachable eh. Now, from this statement, there is a clear indication that napabayaan yung reachable area. Di ba, Luz? Pabayaan nila, reachable area. Therefore, there is no comprehensive fire safety and prevention program. Di ba? Kasi wala naman silang pinapadala daw doon. At saka, there is this parang island na hati, walang daanan, tuloy-tuloy na maliit, na hindi nila napupuntahan. So sabi ko, if you are committing yourself dito sa LGU that you would protect everybody, di ba? Kasi yung reachable barangays, alam naman sabihin mo na hindi namin kasama yan sa program namin. Pwede bang ganun, Lods?
No, sir. Baka may reason, sir, why hindi nila ma-reach.
Kaya nga. So, merong reason. So, number one reason for that is that they are not being guided. They lack guidance. Correct ba? Correct ba, Lods?
Yeah.
They lack guidance. Correct ba? And this guidance would come from programs. Yan. So, the case of this risk map, this operation map, is an evidence of a lack of program. Okay. Yan ang isang drawback ng isang program that does not consult, does not had their environmental scanning, because kahit paano, kahit leaflets, di ba? Kahit radyo na lang, pwede makarating doon sa kabilang isla, di ba? You can still protect them by information dissemination. So, yung word na hindi nila naabot, di sila nakarating doon, ibig sabihin, nagkulang sila ng trabaho, di ba? Because there are ways. Pwede mong kontakin doon yung barangay captain, either you padaanan mo si MDRMO, padala ka ng leaflets, padala ka ng sasabihin nila, yung nakatape, ganun. So, you can still protect them with information by having them learn ng mga safety teachings natin sa safety, sa fire safety. Kaya nung sabihin nila hindi sila nakarating doon, it got me worried. Sabi ko, so this is a case of lack of guidance, kulang sa programa. Okay. So, again, this is just for us. Okay? Okay ba class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so to
Yes, sir.
continue, yeah, so balikan natin kanina, the purpose of your program, objectives, uh, the how to plan for a program planning, sustainability of a program, okay? Then, yung ano nga, yung appreciation, di ba? Yung ano, number of appreciation nga. Ang number of appreciation natin, Ludes, balikan natin. Ayan,
Appreciation.
political desirability,
Disability.
social affordability, and policy promotion. Okay, and then we come to the example. Okay, then the second is, dito na tayo. Okay, the elements of a good first safety education program. Okay, so hindi lang siya, first safety education program po, hindi lang siya isang document that would address yung nakita mong risk. Okay, nakita mong risk, kung nakita mong problema sa isang community, but for it to be appreciated more, no? Kasama ito sa desirability, kasama ito kasama ito dun sa tatlo, desirability, promotion, kasama ito dun sa ano yung sa Lods?
Disability.
Ayun, kasama ito dun. There must be an element of learning styles. Diba? Meron siyang element ng teaching method, okay? Meron siyang PR, okay? Then, meron siyang sabing focused kung saan area. Kasi hindi siya pwede maging program only as a whole without focusing on the physical risk, ano, yung nakita nyo, okay? Then, again, yung evaluation and assessment, okay? Then, let's go to number 1, okay? Sabi, according to Alvin Toffler is a writer, I hope kilala nyo sa college nyo and high school. Sabi niya, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn and relearn. And this is the challenge now of a program. Okay. The challenge of a program is the challenge of the first safety educators. Baba. So, I know you can relate. Okay. Balikan ko lang, diyan pa si Jansen. Balikan ko po dyan sa yung kaninang kwento ko, yung conference ng Arson Investigators Association, dun sa Naga-College Foundation. There was one presenter, ito yung naging challenge niya, no? Those who cannot learn and relearn. Meron siyang sinabi doon, sabi niya doon, sa kwento niya, tinawag niya sa isang panel, si Ma'am Balyares, yung Dean ng Criminology. Sabi niya, ma'am, taon-taon akong nag-training doon. Hindi taon-taon. Siguro mga apat na beses ang taon mag-training doon sa college ng bucket relay. Ngayon, ma'am, ang problema, nang magkaroon ng sunog, walang isa na nakaalala ng bucket relay. Yung sabi niya doon sa kanyang presentation. Tapos, ang tanong niya doon sa panel, kay Ma'am Balyares, yung dean, saan kaya ma'am yung problema? Ang sagot ni Dean, it was a surprise for us. Ang sagot niya dun sa presenter, ikaw sir ang problema. Because sabi niya, you fail to transmit the learning sa learner mo. And yung learner mo naman, hindi mo sila na-identify if they are able to learn yung sinasabi mo. So, with that story, this saying of this principle of Alvin Toffler is very true. Okay, so this is not a problem. We address with our program those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. We have to address all of this in our program. Kaya kailangan natin ng malaman yung basic learning styles. When you implement a program, para kang isang teacher. Okay, tama ba, Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mali. Balus?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yan. A program must have part of acceptability that meron siyang tatawag na appreciation. Okay? Appreciation. And part of that appreciation is techniques on how to deliver. So you must be able to identify the beneficiaries. Kasi sabi din sa program, must be able to identify focused population. Okay. Now, those population needs to be what? tulad ng promotion, you need to what? To educate them. You need to teach them what is and what to do, what is to do and what is not to do. Okay, so you need to have learning styles. Okay, di ba Jan says, teacher din yan eh. Okay, now what are the basic styles, learning styles? Okay, so that yung audience mo, yung program mo, ginawa mo siyang project, ano project mo, ginawa mo siyang education project, you divide the program into projects, bawa, a project now, education project for school children, meron kang focus na area, di ba? Sa nakita mo doon sa yung risk analysis. Meron kang style, okay? Now there are 7 styles, okay? And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 styles, okay? Number 1 style, okay? Alam ito ng mga teachers, ito, visual, okay? You must use pictures, okay? Images and you must explain, okay? There must be a special understanding, okay? Visual, para makuha na lang yung gusto mong itukoy. Even your program must be simple and it must have what? It must contain maps, okay? Kung nakita ka yung program, Ludi, marami nakita ng program na sa region, a program must pertain to something that is also visual and must be easily understood, nakasapag sinulat. So, that is also part ng under visual. Okay. Oral. Okay. Oral, ibig sabihin po, you can explain this or if you can have a video of this, pwede mong ibaba sa baba. Lalo na pa ngayon, walang face-to-face. Sabi ko, if you're going to implement a program, or a program must be well understood, it must go with the present time. So, if you have a program, lalo ngayon COVID na to, program, hindi lang siya visual, but pwede mo siyang i-record. Okay? And, for information pala po, hindi pa ito official kasi wala pang pirmahan ng BFP5 with TESDA. We have been with TESDA for the last 2 Saturdays. And we are coming up with an online, ang tawag doon, LMS, Learning Module System, with TESDA. Nagpapasa doon po lahat ng learning ng lectures of fire. May kasama siyang video, and anybody bata, matanda, o barangay tanod, or they can just enroll. Libre po siya. They can just access yung learning module system ng TESDA, BFP TESDA, and meron doon mga requirements. Gusto niya mag-abroad, so meron siya mga module dapat tapusin. Gusto niya maging technician or gusto niya maging specialist, meron siya mga tatapusin ng mga module. So, that is part of being oral, okay? Vision oral. We are coming up with a group of instructors. Magkakaroon kami ng memo niyan. Mamili tayo ng mga instructors because we have 18 modules na binigay namin sa TESDA. We have 18 modules and siguro i-divide namin to 6 provinces. So, each provinces, yung natoka doon na mag-create ng module, mapasa sa amin yung module and we will try to evaluate it, and then pag okay na po, i-upload namin yung lahat doon sa LMS. So, doon sa module na ito napos mo, halimbawa, for example, Camarines Norte, meron siyang nabigyan ng 3 module. Sa 3 module na yun, siyang instructor doon through a video. Makikita siya ng mag-enroll doon, naka-video siya, plus merong binabasa, plus yung kanyang video. So, that is part of being having a program that goes with the times. Ibig sabihin po, you must also have that sabi environmental scanning. Yung programa ba namin ay naayon pa sa panahon na to. So that is part of that. Di pa siya official. Alam mo ba yan, Lods? Hindi pa.
Nabanggit ni Alan, sir.
Okay, so isa doon si Lods sa mga instructor. Okay, maganda ba, Lods? Maganda ba?
Hindi ko pa nakikita sa yung program, pero nabanggit lang po niya.
Pero yung kwento ba maganda? Mangyari?
Maganda. Maganda po.
So, it's a free resource. Ang gagawin ng tao po is mag-enroll sila sa TESDA. Mga instructor doon, mga BFP. So, bago siya magkaroon ng certificate, kasi after ng isang module, makomply niya yung activities doon, mapasa niya yung exam, pipilitin niya po yung yung email niya, yung e-certificate niya, ay email, yung e-certificate niya po, pipitin niya yun, pag nag-redone siya ng instructor, pwede niya ngayon i-download yung kanyang certificate. So right away, meron siyang certificate, pirmado ng TESDA, pirmado rin ni RD. Okay, kasi naman RD. So it's a very good resource. So nakayon po ngayon yun. It's like
Coursera, sir.
parang Coursera. It's like a program that you design your program for this COVID era. So, hindi pwede face-to-face. So, meron tayo ngayon. So, anywhere in the Philippines, anywhere in Bicol, kasi Bicol parang po ang programa natin. First tayo niya sa buong Pilipinas. They can even use cellphone, kung saan sila na doon, they can access the information, the knowledge, they can enroll, and then they can just click their e-certificates. Okay, so, ayun. So, third one would be verbal. Yan. Verbal, okay. Kaya yung magiging instructor, okay, you must be very linguistic, okay. So, doon po sa ating, doon sa ating programa, hindi siya puro English, so, itagalog natin, Tagalog doon, yung magiging instructor doon sa, magiging video, instructional video, doon ipapasok doon sa LMS ng TESDA. So, that's the third learning style. It must be special. It was, our LMS with TESDA is a blended learning. It's a combination learning. So, nakalagay ito sa learning styles. We have 8, verbal, visual, auditory, physical, logical, social, solitary, and combination. So, again, I think upcoming projects with TESDA is a blended kind of learning. So, bago i-download nag-enroll, yung kanyang certificate, kailangan niya muna pumunta sa fire station for evaluation. Okay. Until then, di niya pwede ma-access yung kanyang certificates. Okay. Now, parte po ng learning style, teaching is a learning style ng isang tao is that you must be able to identify ang kanyang learning spans. According dito, mahaba to sa kanyang learning span. If you're familiar with TED Talk, alam niyo ba yung TED Talk? Ang kanyang presentation ay dire-diretso because the presenter must be able to present his argument within 18 minutes. Okay, so dati, sabi nila, the attention span of a listener, the attention span of a learner is 20 minutes. But according to a new development in research, na ginamit ng TED Talk, if you're familiar with TED Talk, it's 18 minutes. So, if the learning, alam niyo na ngayon that ang learning style ng audience is 18 minutes, so you have to how do you call this? You have to pattern. Okay, you have to design your programs and how a program is delivered into 20 minutes how do you call this, packages. Okay, deliver the program. Okay, now what would be the effective teaching style? Okay, because sabi ko nga, when you want to implement a program, it must address the learning style, and it must also guide the implementer ng program, because we're talking about a safety education program. So we incorporate the learning style. Okay, when you implement a safety education program, you're trying to educate people. Dapat kilala mo sila, ano ba kanilang learning styles. Okay, so di ba, yun ang yung power ng teachers, di ba? Now, balikan natin yung power ng teacher. Ano ba power ng teacher ulit? Ang power ng teacher is the power of differentiation. No, di ba? Kasi alam niya ngayon ang learning style ng bawat estudyante. Like for example, she or he has 50 students. Alam niya yung kabila, may antukin, dito may tamad, sa gitna may tulog, sa likod naman, pulling attention kasi gutom. So, a teacher has that kind of differentiation. Alam niya na yung audience niya. Ngayon, alam niya na kung paano sila i-address. That is why a teacher must learn several methods, okay, of transferring knowledge sa kanyang audience para ma-address yung different people or different kind or different types of audiences na meron siya. Diba? So that is the power of differentiation. Hindi ka pwedeng salita ng salita lang, hindi mo kilala yung mga tao sa harap mo. Ano bang bagay sa kanya? Saan siya ma-interest? Maglagay ba ako ng picture? Makuha ko attention niya? Ako ba magsalita ng salita? Kakanta ba ako? Ma-appreciate niya? Diba? Or, meron ba akong gagawin na iba? Ako ba yung magpa-blended style? Magpa-skip ba ako? Magpa-drama-drama ba ako? Magpa-debate ba ako? To get the attention. So, that is not the power of the teacher. Don't forget that yung mga teachers dyan, makatulog ng teachers, the power of the teacher is the power of differentiation. And kayo din po, you're now learning what is First Year Education Program. You must be like teachers because when you go down, kaya hindi kayo teacher, no? When you go down sa community, when you do actual immersion, when you do actual implementation ng education program, you must be like a teacher, okay? Or a social worker. Na kilala mo dapat yung tao sa barangay, kilala yung taong kaharap mo. Ano bang kailangan niya? Kailangan niya bang magandang boses mo sa kanta-kanta? Kailangan mo bang pasayaw-sayaw? Kailangan mo intermission? Just to get the attention. So that is again the power of differentiation. Okay, so now, as an implementer of a program, safety program, a safety education program, dapat alam mo din yung methods of effective teaching. Okay, now, again, 7 methods of effective teaching, or 7 effective teaching strategies. By the way, pala pasalamat kasi namin. So, what are the 7 effective teaching strategies? We have visualization, okay? Visualization, just a review for those teachers. Yung non-teachers naman na you would learn this. Ang sabi sa visualization, bring the academic concepts to life with visual and practical learning experiences. Okay, so you have to show pictures like what I was doing, di ba? Nakita niyo yung mga visual ko, mayroon akong pictures. That is also, I'm also incorporating these strategies para lalo niyong maintindihan yung lesson natin ngayon. I even give a cross example. Okay, a cross example. Instead of just education program, nag-cross ako ng example ko doon sa decontamination, which is now a present program natin for you to have a better comparison ng what is the program. So I actually did some of this. Okay, so number 1 was again visualization. I added pictures doon sa aking mga presentation. Okay, for everybody to best understood. Okay, then I have cooperative learning, di ba? What is cooperative learning? Encourage students of mixed abilities to work together by promoting small group or whole class activities for them to verbally express their ideas, to develop self-confidence, enhance communication, and critical thinking skills. Okay. So this is, kung meron tayong face-to-face, this is being carried out by activities in the classroom. Okay. Meron ka mga, nasa barangay ka, pwede mo you have to create a skit or grouping, secret activities, or some sort of games for them to be motivated. So, cooperative learning. Sa atin naman dito, ginagawa natin, aside hindi ko yung nakikita, but I have to ask, nandiyan ba kayo? And I have to ask some questions and which some of you answered.
Yes, sir.
So, that is part of cooperative learning. Okay. Here, tulad ng isa, sabi niya, yes sir, dito pa siya. So, when you answer back, it means you are, what? We are now exercising the principle of cooperative learning. I give you a question, you answer. Okay, so that's that. Okay. The third one is inquiry-based instruction. Okay. You can do this. Di ba, natanong nyo, tulad ng ginawa ko. Do you still remember the components of fire prevention, di ba? That is inquiry-based learning. So, I was trying to motivate you to what? To ask questions kanina. Okay, to answer back. Okay. Encourages students to ask questions, investigate their own ideas, helps improve their problem-solving skills. O yung kaninang sumagot, di ba? Although yung sagot nila ay di masyadong tumama sa sagot, but this was it. Nagkaroon ng inquiry-based instructions. And you can do this. When you implement a first safe education program, you must be able to use all these strategies. Okay. Then number 4, ito yung power natin. Power ng lahat na ngayon because you're now in this class, you must be able to graduate from my subject learning all these styles, and you now also have with you the power of differentiation. So, meron din kayo. What this course is giving you now is the power of differentiation, the power of implementing a program, effective program. Okay. Okay, let me check first my cell phone. Nag-message si RD. Okay, it's okay. Okay, now, what is number 5? Number 5 is the use of technology. Okay. When I was a marshal, in Tiwi Albay, when I was a marshal, mataga Tiwi dito, kulang kami ng gamit, ano? Kulang kami ng gamit doon. So, I often tell them, dapat meron tayong ready presentation. Although, alam natin yung lesson na sabihin natin, ituturo natin, but then, sa teaching styles, there's a variation because if you don't have a presentation, kahit manghiram tayo ng multimedia, kung wala kang presentation, there would be what? There would be low appreciation ng audience. Okay, so number 5 is the use of technology. Multimedia projectors or mobile devices can be used to display images and videos, which helps audiences to visualize the concepts. Okay, so in teaching styles, use technology. Okay, and number 6, behavior management. Okay, behavior management. Ay, babalikan ko pa yung number 5. Number 5, dun sa use of technology. There was one instance dun sa Tiwi, just to give an example, just to give an idea, wherein yung lecturer ko, a lady, wala siyang, yung topic niya is the use of fire extinguisher. Okay. Kaya lang, wala siyang dalang ng video on how to use the fire extinguisher. So, problema siya ngayon kung paano niya i-deliver yung lecture, yung activities, yung lecture sa estudyante. And she was a teacher. Sabi ko, gamit naman yung pagka-teacher mo, you create an activity. Sabi niya, how? Sabi ko, madali yan. Okay. You let everybody stand. Okay. Let them imagine that they are holding the fire extinguisher and let them recite the pass. Okay? Yung pass, yung pull, aim, ano pang isa, squeeze, and sweep side to side. Sabi ko, patayin mo lahat ng bata, kunwari, i-reset na yung what is P, pull the pin, so they must be able to demonstrate, pull the pin sabay-sabay, parang sabayang bigkas. Isa demonstration. For lack of presentation, for lack of video, that the students would, or the audience would see, nagagayahin nila, for them to learn the concepts, sabi ko, become a teacher, and make a classroom activity, parang sabayang galaw, sabayang bigkas ba. So, tayo yung mga bata, ginawa nila, pin, pull the pin, sabay-sabay nila, while doing the action of pulling the pin, di ba? Ayan. So, that was the activity. Hanggang tapos dun sa sweep side to side. So, we were able to deliver the concept ng kulang kumain activity. So, but, for most of the times, use technology para madali po sa atin. Okay. Then, number 6 is behavior management. Okay. What's behavior management? Okay. Behavior management is the implementing an effective behavior management strategy, crucial to gain respect and ensure an equal chance of reaching participants' full learning potential. Okay. Behavior management, di ba tulad nito, sabi ng ka-smarter nyo, andito na ba kayo lahat? So that is part of behavior management. Okay. When you say andito na kayo lahat, it would mean that everybody would be prepared for the instructor. Okay. O kanina, sabi ni Ludi, hi, good morning, sir. So everybody automatically muted their speakers. Mute na yung microphone nyo. So that is part of behavior management. An example for this is, I think there was a time when we went to BU. There was a time na yung BFP5, yung BFP Regional Office, has become the consultant of safety of Bicol University. Bicol University, BU is the premier school in Bicol. And kami yung naging ano do you call this? Yung kanilang yung consultant sa safety. So we conduct trainings kanila. So one of the before they did the drill, bago kami nag-drill, nagkaroon muna ng classroom to classroom orientation. Okay. So mayroong isang classroom na sa elementary na habang nagsasalita yung nung yung bombero natin, kasama natin sa trabaho, nagsalita siya ng mga dapat gawin during the drill, what to expect, what actions to take. May isang bata na patakbo-takbo sa loob ng classroom and nahirapan ngayon makot yung attention ng ating speaker. So, mabuti na padan ako, ginawa ko, sumingit ako, tapos sabi ko, ako na magsalita. So, what I did was, kinuha ko yung bata, sabi ko, halika dito, hinawakan ko siya, sabi ko, dito ko lang sa tabi ko. So, nayakap ko yung bata dito sa may part ng kanyang balikat, parang friend ko siya. Habang nagsalita ako, tuwang-tuwa yung bata, naka-embrace sa akin. So, that is part of behavior management. So, you must be able to, ang tawag dyan? Classroom management. Kung sa teachers, classroom management, behavior management, you have to do activities in order for your audience to stay put, okay? For them to have the learning potential, full learning potentials, okay? Okay ba, Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Malinaw bang sinasabi ko?
Very clear.
Okay. Naalala mo ba yung incident na yun sa bio?
Hindi pa yata ako kasama nun, sir, mga time na yun.
Ganun ba?
Apo.
Sabi ako nun sila Frankie. Okay, so the last one is professional development. Ayan. Professional development. Okay. Ito, when you say professional development, tulad ng ginawa natin na, okay, basahin ko muna, engaging in regular professional activities to enhance learning where the participants can gain inspiration from action involvement. Okay. Now, this professional development, makikita nyo ito dun sa ating proposed na LMS or blended learning kasi nga blended siya because we're now trying to expose yung audience o you're trying to expose na yung ating enrollees or yung tuturuan ng program o nagturo na kayo into the activities. Nakasali sila sa activities. Like for example, they join, di ba, sa ating CFAG, nagkaroon tayo ng Urban Fire Olympics. Now, you're now trying to expose them to actual involvements, actual activities. So, that is a professional development. Therefore, a program must lead to the development of the community, di ba? In so saying po, sa bottom line, learning all this, a program, nagawa ng program, after napasok mo lahat, napasok mo yung learning styles doon, napasok mo yung teaching styles, ibig sabihin po, the program should also lead to development of the audience or the beneficiaries or the community. Okay, so it must be developmental. Okay, now, another element of a program, if a good program, for it to have that acceptability is the element of public relation. Okay, public relation. Okay, dapat maganda ang dating ng program sa ating community. So, there must be an element of public relation. Okay, so what is public relation? Yan. Public relation is strategy to communicate process. Okay. Communicate process. Okay. So, ano lang to? Dali lang po to as part ng element ng a good program. Okay. Dapat, it must be persuasive, number one. The program must be persuasive because there is PR. Okay. It must be persuasive yung program mo. It must build relation, di ba? Tulad ng steps, you build partnership. So, andun yung principles of public relation. Yan. It must understand the nature of news. Okay? Like a PR. Okay? There must be, you create like a news or you follow up a story. Okay? Like nang ginagawa natin as a COVID, if you remember yung mga tarpaulins nyo, ba nakita yung mga tarpaulins nyo? We heal as one, we heal as one, we fight as one. Okay? Wear a mask, di ba? The wearing of mask is a mask. Okay? That is a follow-up story. That's a follow-up story. Now, also yung fire safety natin, wherein pumasok yung sumingit yung COVID. So, in order for a program to be effective, di nakalimutan yung programa natin sa fire safety, we na combine them. It's not PR. We combine them into one advocacy. So, pumasok dun yung PR sa program natin. Sa fire safety program, pumasok na yung program natin sa against COVID. Tiligasan natin. Do you remember the tarpaulins? Loads?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is a manifestation of our program, a continuing fire safety program kung saan naging blended siya. We use now a follow-up. Parang kung sa news, sa PR, we did not create a story, but we did follow up a story. Anong story? Ang story is that andito yung COVID. So, andito yung first safety natin, first safety program natin, we follow up the story. Anong story? Anong usong story? COVID. So, we follow up the stories. Nabayan natin na we heal as one, we fight as one. The wearing of mask is a must. So, andun yung first safety, andun yung follow-up natin ng story ng against COVID. So, that's that. So, okay, dito yan. That is part of PR, okay? Then, we use the social media, okay? The program must also be appealable or this must be enticing for the media also, okay? Sa ating program, okay? Now, can you measure PR? Yes. Can you measure PR? Yes. Because when you do your safety program, and lalo na sa ngayon, you show it ba, nagprograma ka and then upload mo sa Facebook, you can immediately measure kung siya ba ay naging magandang PR tool, di ba? Bawa, nag-decontaminate or nag-lecture ka or nagpa-drill ka, and then you upload that program, that project of yours, upload mo sa social media, and then automatic meron kang feedback. Okay, and what's that feedback? The feedback is your Facebook analytics. Ano Facebook analytics natin? Social media analytics. What are these? These are the likes, these are the what? The heart, or these are the what? Yung mga nakalagay dun sa mga reactions. So, okay? So, PR this is a part of a program wherein it should pertain to the total acceptability of that program. It must be appealing, okay? It must contain the element or the ingredient of PR ang programa ng isang fire safety. Okay. Okay, the third one is ito. Ito pa. Just dagdag dito sa PR. Okay. The program must be able, must enable the person, implementing a person, must transform the implementer of the program into a storyteller. Okay. Now, a program must be comprehensive, must be concept-giving, that implementer must be able to deliver it through a storytelling, because storytelling is a very good method of teaching strategy. Okay. Tulad ng an example dito. Example ko dito. Can you see the example, Luz? Example sa baba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nakalagay dito, interview with PIA. Okay. Now, just an example ng program, that a program is must have the element of PR. During my interview, example lang po ito, no, I tend to do cross examples ng isang program. So actually, ginagawa natin ngayon. This is a project actually. Interview is a project to implement a program. Okay. Now, part of that, they're indirect sa program natin sa interview with the media. So, during the interview, I have to present the RD now as an RD that is active. Okay. So, I use the word maliksi. Maliksi, ang ating director po ay hands-on sa isang RD maliksi. If we're able to follow the interview, sabi ko, ang RD namin ay naglilibot. Ang tawagan namin sa kanya isang RD maliksi to mean masigasik. Okay. And then yung sumuko na kayo, yung word na sumuko na kayo, because the anchor was saying, gamitin natin ang oras na to para doon sa mga LGU na wala pang binibigay na lote, na magbigay na. Okay. So, but inunahan ko siya, sabi niya, nananawagan kami doon sa mga LGU na, pagsabi niyang sumingit ako, bigla ako sumingit, sumuko na kayo. Ibig sabihin po, sila ay sumang-ayon na sa gusto ng BFP na sila ay magbigay na ng lote for us to have the permanent fire station, for us to complete our protective function as part of our program. Okay. The continuity of our first aid education program. Okay. And then, yung second example ko po is yung Kalasag Award for Colonel Santiago. I use the PR. Example lang po ng PR, kung hindi nyo pa nakukuha yung ibig sabihin ng PR sa program, I'm giving you example now how to use the PR sa program. You have to use descriptions, you have to use situations sa program where it would be more understood by the implementer and the beneficiary of the program. Okay. In the Sausage on Fire, Okay ba ba, Lods? Okay pa?
Yes, sir. Opo.
Okay. Dun sa source on fire, the turning point doon kung bakit na-awardan si Sir Santiago ng kanyang award because of the word I used dun sa write-up na maniwala kasi hindi, lightning speed. Yan. Lightning speed decision maker. Okay. Dun sa fire kasi, yung source on fire kasi is a normal fire incident. Nasunog dun sa isang eskwelahan, an old building, nanghinayin kasi cultural cultural establishment, cultural building yun, sunog siya. But then it was regarded as a normal fire. Sabi nila, why do we have to award Colonel Santiago his award? Kasi normal sunog, trabaho naman nyo yun. Sabi ko, but that is unique because what he did in the fireground is incomparable. Sabi nila, how unique? Sabi ko, so part of PR, like a program, like a part of PR, nilagay ako ng PR, sabi ko, because what he did was, what he has is this lightning speed decision making, kaya hindi na lumipat yung sunog sa kabilang barangay. Ayun. So I use as a PR word yung lightning speed, which is naiiba. So tawanan yung panel kasi I was part of the panel and I was part of the to explain yung award ni Sir Santi. So with that in the write up, nilagay ko doon yung lightning speed. Tawanan sila but they were happy and they were convinced that talagang naiiba. So that was the decision point na ginawa ng panel because of that PR word. Isang word lang siya, lightning speed. Okay? So when you create a program also, you have to inject sa program, particularly in the delivery, descriptions that would convince people. Diba nakita mo dun sa una, create a need dun sa, diba nakita yung slide na may San Pedro? Diba yung last ko doon na limitaw, yung create a need. This now a need. You create now a need. What's that need? Yan. You add to the description. Yung una, lightning speed. Ito pong pangalawa, sa need incident. Yung second award ni Colonel Santiago sa Kalasag was that, mababa yung grade ng, mababa yung score sa kanya ng PVOX, mababa yung score sa kanya ng DOH, mababa yung score ng ibang category naman po ito, yung second time niya mag-award, mababa yung score ng NEDA. Now, what I did was, I went to NEDA and I inquired sa NEDA. Sabi ko sa NEDA, Ma'am, bakit to mababa yung grade nyo sa ginawa ng Bureau of Fire? Kasi katanga-tangi naman. Sabi niya, anong katangi-tangi doon? Sabi ko, you know what, ma'am? Sabi ko, okay lang mababa ang tingin sa amin ng PVOX, okay lang mababa ang tingin sa amin ng DOH, but sana mataas ang tingin sa amin ng NEDA. Because we are the only agency na dapat ka-partner nyo sa development. Sabi niya, how so? Sabi ko, ma'am, kumusunog ba lahat? Yan, kumusunog ba lahat na yan? Meron bang development? Oh. Sabi niya, oo nga So, that's again the decision point, the turning point ng NEDA in order to appreciate yung ginawa ng BFP. Okay. Diba? So, nagkaroon. So, when you do a program, you inject things, you inject words, you inject descriptions that would, ang nagbabasa o nakikinig na public, they would be convinced that, ay, kailangan namin to. Talaga dapat palang ito. So, that is how you make a program. You add the PR, a taste of PR. Okay. Nakuha nyo ba? Kindan nyo ba, Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to continue, okay, this is a guessing game. Okay. Now, this is part of PR. Okay. Which of these cards has a good PR story? Okay. Tingnan nyo nga. Di ba, Martini Fire Chief nung set number 1? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basahin nyo nakalagay dyan sa kanyang caption. In behalf of the man and woman of the BFP. Basahin mo nga, Lods?
Sir, medyo malabo. Hindi ko mabasa po.
Balik kasi yung screen ko eh. I-try mo.
Hindi ko, sir, makita.
Hindi nakita? Okay. Sino nakakita dyan sa klase? Sino ba nakakita? Anybody?
Sino malinaw yung mata, please?
Anyone? Sino pwede gusto magbasa? Apa. Ha?
Ay, sinigalang sir.
Opo, your acknowledge please. Ibasa po.
In behalf of all the men and women of the BAP, we would like to greet our Chief Director, C. Segundo M. Don Jr., who is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, sir, and God bless.
Okay. Okay. Now you compare that with this one. Basahin mo po sa baba. Kasi basahin mo po yan.
Happy birthday, Director C. S. Don Jr., Chief BAP. Your dedication, determination, and insights inspired us to always give our best. We appreciate someone wonderful like you at the head of affairs of the Bureau. Our snappiest salute. Happy birthday. From the
Okay.
men and women of BAPR5.
Okay, now if you compare the two, sino po nagbibigay ng PR? Sino nagbibigay ng motivation sa public na siya pala ay ganito? Was it number 1 or number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2, okay. Ba? So, when you create a program, dapat ganito rin. Ang program mo dapat. Dapat meron kang sinasaad doon sa programa mo. Hindi lang siya programa 1, 2, 3, 4. Ito gawin nyo 1, 2, 3, 4. Hindi. You must add concepts, you must add descriptions that would make the program appealable to the public. I mean, then it must have charisma. Okay. Pag sinabi mo program, this must contain descriptions, this must contain they call this concept, it must contain things that people would understand, that they would say, sabihin nila na, uy, basahin ko nga ito hanggang sa last page in program ito because this program is really, really needed. So, like these two, just using these two pictures, yung unang picture nila, sinabi lang na happy birthday in behalf of men and women. But, yung itong pangalawa na ginawa natin, this from R5, ginawa natin po ito, we added something because we're trying to feature, like, example, si Fire Chief ang program, kulang yung description. Sa atin naman, dadagan natin yung description that convince the public ng boss pala ng BFP ay ganyan, dedicated, determined, madaming insights, nag-inspire. So, we added, okay. Also with this, ayan, ginawa ng NCR, meron din siyang description. Diba? Basahin mo nga ulit, sino yun kanina?
Ay, sinigalang sir.
Apo, please.
Here's to a man of action and compassion. The alive entire po sir. Medyo hindi ko na po
Okay,
At the entire BP NCR celebrates your life, leadership, and service.
see?
Pray wishes for the fulfillment of the kind desires of your big heart. Cheers to long life and happier birthdays to you, to our Chief BP Fire Director Jose S. Imbang Jr.
See? Nabasa nyo pa lang, nabasa ng tao, di kilala ng tao si Fire Chief, ano? So, pag nabasa nyo yung ganun mga description, yung ganun mga play of words ba, describing the man, ang tao kagad ay napalapit sa kanya. Sabi ng tao, talaga palang dapat siya naging Fire Chief kasi kahanga-hanga, okay? Parang gusto nila ngayon makilala si Fire Chief, ano? So, pag sabi nila, si Fire Chief, uy, kagalang-galang yan, nakatiwa-tiwala kasi ito, nabasa ko ganito siya. So, just like your program would have descriptions, the program would have concepts that people would want to read from cover to cover. The people would want to learn or participate. Sali kami dyan, magandang programa nyo. Because now you're adding PR sa inyong programa. Are you getting me, Ludes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kaya meron dapat siyang element of PR. Okay. The next one is this one. Another addition doon sa PR. Ano oras na ba, Ludes? Break na ba? Wala pa?
Wait lang, sir. 10:39 pa lang, sir.
10:39. Okay. Ano oras tayo mag-break? Let's break.
Ano oras na? Classmate, 11:30, sir.
Okay, sige, okay. Now, isa pang PR natin, example ng PR na ginagawa natin, More examples kasi I'm using now the method of teaching, the methods of learning, the method of teaching, to bring you more what a program is supposed to be. I now use the method of teaching, okay? Kasi teacher din ako eh. And I would want you to copy what I'm doing right now, my style right now, because later on you would also be using this kind of style when you go down sa field, okay? You do visual, you do auditory, okay? Di lang kakanta ngayon, okay? Bawal kumanta. Sabi ni Ludi, sayaw daw, okay? So, this is another example on how we do PR, okay? For people to say that the leadership now of BFP5 is a person who is true, okay, or sincere and committed, gumawa tayo ulit ng isa pang a PR card for RD. Nakalagay dyan, a faithful man will abound with blessings, but whoever hasten to be rich will not go unpunished. Ito po ay dagdag dun sa lumalabas na kwento, okay, that madaming nagbabayad ng kapasok sa BFP. So, in order for the public to know that ati pong nabago ng sistema, that ang leadership ng BFP ay hindi ganyan, we have this kind of card. So, sabi ni RD, ang aking biblical guidance is, for what shall profit a man if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? So, that is part of PR. Okay. Also, with your programs, you inject principles, you inject maxims, you inject quotes sa program, if you're going to create a program, to what? To express more yung laman ng program, to guide more. Kaya meron mga mga quotes na ginagamit. Okay. Ayan. Ito pa, isa pa yan. Okay. Also, with our program sa COVID, ano bang pwedeng, this is a follow story, para sa follow-up story, nang mag-declare yung mag-declare na yung mga mag-declare yung ating mga, how do you call this? Mga medical frontliners na sila ay magpahinga muna, diba? Ng time out. Na when they requested for time out, sabi ni RD, ang guidance ng National Office is that patuloy tayo sa ating programa to address the COVID issue. So, sabi ni RD, gawa ka ulit ng PR card for people to know and to inspire our mga kasama, dapat tuloy-tuloy tayo. So, what I did was, I used the word relentless. Diba? Nababasa nyo ba, Luz? Baba? Let us be relentless in breaking the chain of transmission and finally drive out this virus. Okay? So, this is, again, how we deliver a program. So, the present program now, again i-equate lang natin sa Fire Safety Education Program. Our program now, yung sa COVID program, is that we're trying to convey to the public that ang BFP ay tuloy-tuloy. So, habang namamahinga yung ating frontliners, tayo po ay relentless, tuloy-tuloy. So, I use the word relentless. Ayan. So, that's part ng PR. So, a program also must have that kind of dating ang ating Fire Safety Education Program. It must be concept filled, inspiration filled. Okay. It must be a program that calls for action. Okay. Ang ating ginagawang Fire Safety Education Program, it must be filled with things that calls for action or participatory action. Yun ang ating programa dapat. So, just like this example, okay. So, meron pa tayong isa. Ayan. Sa ating programa, Usip KRD. Ayan. And this was replicated by NCR. Ayan, ang ating mga PR programs, okay. This is just to let you know what is a PR program, okay. Ayan, ginaya din po siya ng Region 2. Ayan. So, people are learning our program. So, dito po, again, for people to know who is behind BFP and at kanyang programa, we also have this kind of PR program kay RD. Ayan, ating programa sa kanya, okay? And this one, I think everybody was present during the anniversary. Present ba kayo during the anniversary loads? Present ba sila? Ganun ba kayo, class?
Yes, sir.
Po, sir.
Okay, so anong kulang po dun sa PR natin? If this is a program, imagine po itong tarpaulin natin dito sa picture, isa sa program, hindi siya masyadong appealing ng dati. Bakit? Anong kulang doon? Kung nakita yung tarpaulins nyo, anong kulang doon? Kung siya ay cover ng program, imagine this is the cover of your first education program. This is the first page or yung cover page. Hindi siya naging appealing dati. Bakit hindi siya appealing? Hindi nyo nalala yung mga tarpaulins nyo? Yung dati kasi, wala yung picture ni speaker, wala yung picture ni Mayor Rosal. Kung naalala nyo? Yes or no? Naalala nyo ba? Class, anybody? Ano yun ulit? Oh, yung dati kasi po, yung ating tarpaulins, hindi siya masyadong interesting kasi wala yung picture ng ating guest speaker, di ba? Kung sa cover ng program, sa cover pa lang ng program natin, if you have created your first safe education program, sa cover pa lang, hindi na siya appealing. Okay? So, when you create an education program, safe education program, from cover to cover po siya, di pa binubuksan yung laman, di pa binabasa, appealing na po siya. Okay, nakuha niyo yung message? The message is like that. Okay, so dito, sa example na to, if this is the cover, pinadadagan ko po siya ng picture ng ating speaker, so people would find this anniversary more appealing than wala si speaker natin. Because this is our own, ito mga pictures are our own, pero wala yung ating speaker. Okay, now the purpose of having the speaker is that this would bring what? This would bring ang tawag yan, meet sa ating anniversary. So, in creating a program, it is very important that there is what? There is PR. Because with PR, people would be enticed or people would be motivated to read the program from first page to the last page. Okay. O kung meron kayong 10 seminar ng program na yan, people would want to attend from the first session to the last session. So, the program must be appealing. Okay? So, that is the role of PR in your program. Okay? Now, the third is high-risk population. It must also be an element of your program. Okay. Mahaba na ba, Lods? Lods, mahaba na ba?
Sir, sir? Okay lang po.
Yung iba na tulog na eh. Tulog na ba yung iba?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
sir.
Hindi kayo
Gising
makita.
pa, sir.
Hindi kasi kayo makita eh. Okay. Do you understand now the purpose of having a PR sa program?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Again, ulitin natin, a program must have the element of PR. Okay? So that it would have a total appeal sa community. For those people who would want or who would listen to the program or would be beneficiary of the program, they would be stimulated to what? Or motivated to learn what is in the first page up to what are those in the last pages ng program nyo. So, they are now motivated to really learn what are those because they are appealing. We have the element of PR sa program na yun. Okay. Now, we go now to high-risk population. Okay. Ano sabi sa high-risk population dito? We have the CFPP or the Community for Protection Planning from Oplan Ligtas Pamayanang Program.
At magiging ko naman ikaw santan. Kinano ko na ikaw magpadara.
Sir, pamute lang mga speaker niyo po. Sir, ma'am.
Saan siya mapadara? Mapadarang bugas? Mapadarang isda? Okay, so that was interruption. Okay, high-risk population, and thank you, Class Marshall, kay Ludi, thank you. At si Ludi mabilis, okay. High-risk population, this would pertain to your step 1 in program planning, which is community risk assessment, okay. We have your CFPP. Ano yung ulit yung CFPP, anybody?
Community for Protection Planning, sir.
Okay. So CFPP would pertain to Committee for Protection Planning, and this is a part ng program ng OLP. This is a project, the program is OLP. CFPP is a project, okay, to achieve the OLP. This is where you now do your risk assessment ng palibot. So gagamitin mo dito yung yung concept ng yung process na ugnayan sa barangay wherein you do your consultation, di ba? Consultation muna, pakinggan muna sila Kap, Kagawad, ano pong dito na-experience yun dito na threat sa fire safety nyo o kaya sa iba pang emergency? So they would tell you because they have been living there for how many years or decades na nakatira sila doon. So they know more of the place than you. Then, after that, you do your orientation of the area. Maglilibot ka ngayon, you try to identify. Kap, saan ba dito sabi mo na palaging may palaging nag-spark yung poste? Saan ba dito yung palaging minakuryente? O saan ba dito yung palaging inabot ng baha na malapit sa ng kuryente? Yan. So you have to go around, you have to do some orientation, okay? Kasama na ngayon yung people of the barangay to confirm or affirm their sinabi sa iyo na mga vulnerability assessment o hazards, okay? Plus your own what? Your visual expertise dun sa makita mong mga hazards palibot. And after that, you now do your mapping. Of course, kasama sila. Kap, ito ba yung gawa tayo ng mapa ng barangay? Okay? Meron ba tayo? Saan ba dito nakita natin kanina? Saan tayo dumaan kanina? So, this is the place where na madaming light houses with light construction or tawag dito yung made of light materials. Okay, dito naman ay malapit sa bahain siya. Dito naman ay madamo. Okay, baka pwede dito magkasunog. So you have to now to do your planning. Okay, this is now you have to identify the high risk population so that your sabi ko nga, our program must not be fire aim, di ba? Fire ka muna and aim. Dapat ang program mo muna must be aim ka muna, sipatin muna yung target mo, saka ka muna tatarget. Okay, di ba? So, para magawa mo yung aim ka muna, you have to do your survey, your high risk population. Okay. You have to do your CFPP muna. Ganun. So, maglilibot ka, makinig ka muna sa barangay. Ano bang nakita natin dito? Nakita nyo over the years. And then, let us confirm that. So, iyain mo sila. Maglilibot kayo ngayon sa palibot. Okay? And then, confirm and add doon sa makita ng vulnerabilities. Okay? So, this is what high-risk population is. And this must be addressed in your program. Unang-una, this must be stated. Ano ba sila? Saan ba sila sa programa mo? Ano mga epekto nila? And then, this must be identified ng interventions din. Okay? So, this must be part of your fire safety programs because these are the problems identified. Okay? Now, there must also be professionalism. You must add the factor of the element of professionalism in your program. A fire safety education program must have the element of professionalism. Yan, okay. Ano sabi dyan? Sabi ko tulad kanina, it must be developmental. Okay? So, basahin natin. The fire safety program will lead to the development of an individual or a specific group. Okay? How can it be developmental? Because, ano siya? A fire safety program must be what? Regarded as what? A necessity. Anong necessity? Magiging dapat siyang a part ng social services ng isang community. Okay? Okay ng buong Bicol. When we have now the program, fire safety education program, this must now be a need. Hindi lang siya, sabihin, uso sa atin ganito. Sir, pwede ka ba mag-lecture sa anniversary namin? Kahit mga 20 minutes lang. Meron bang ganon? Meron bang ganon na panakip butas? Entertainment ka lang na, sir, pwede ka mag-lecture mga 20 minutes lang. Diba? So it's not a very good kind of treatment sa ating kakayahan. Okay. So when you say mag-lecture tayo, dapat meron kang sa program mo, sa fire safety program mo, meron ka doon ng mga projects, different topics, or different projects that you would be able to deliver in a particular time. Like, for example, in project mo doon is how to address candle fire. So, program mo, dapat may duration yun. Like, dapat palagi kang comprehensive. Hindi pwedeng 15 minutes lang. So, pwede kang 15 minutes lang. Hindi, introduction? Pakilala lang? Hindi pwede. So, you must try to what? We must try with your program to change the treatment of the community doon sa ating program. Okay? So, you must with your program, you must answer the need. You must be part of the social services ng isang komunidad that a fire safety program is now part of your protection. So, yun. It must be developmental. So, there must be a sense of professionalism. So, developmental dapat yung inyong fire safety program. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
Ha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Inyo ba?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
That the fire safety program should be treated as a basic service ng komunidad. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so ganun yun. Okay, so baguhin na natin. With your safety program, it must have the hint of professionalism. Hindi pwedeng, uy, 15 minutes sir, pwede ka? Hindi pwede. So, dapat it must be based on what is the content of your program and the projects therein and the purposes therein. Kung anong purpose mo. Ang purpose mo ngayon, wildfire. So, meron kang, sabi ka, sir, pwede ka mag-lecture wildfire, 15 minutes lang? Hindi pwede because when you talk about wildfire, sa program mo, it would take 2 hours. So, hindi pwede 15 minutes lang. So, you must stick to your program. That way, the program has the element of professionalism. Okay, dala mo yung programa na tama. Hindi ka lang basta panakiputas. Okay, so let's continue now. Okay, ito na yung I think ito ba I think this is nearing to the end. Di ba, Lutz? Pang ilan ito? Pang 5? Pang 6?
Saan, sir?
Ha?
Pang 4.
Pang 4 ito? Okay. Pwede ba tayong early lunch break?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ay, salamat. Okay, so class, I declare an early lunch break. Class marcher, take charge.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Salamat, sir.
Sir, Miss.
Balik tayo ng
Thank you very much, sir. 1:30 po.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The purpose of the fire safety education program, just to have a review, is to prevent fires, the damaging impact of fires. Okay, and that its commitments are to ensure that no one suffers fire injury or death due to lack of knowledge or preparations. Again, in one word, the purpose of a safety program is to prepare. Okay, is to prepare the community. Okay. Wag yun ang picturean kasi, parang Christopher, wag na picturean kasi bibigyan kayo ng copy nito. Okay? Okay? And then, of course, ang sabi dito, from this picture, the lesson is that a good fire safety strategy delivers a prevention effective program. Okay? So, the program must be proactive. Okay? We do not bet on our quick responses, our equipment, and how well trained we are, but we bet on how prepared the community is. Okay, and the only way that we can prepare the community, we have a very good proactive program. Ano yan?
Excuse me, sir, Miss. Sir, ma'am, sir, po yung ating audio nakaka-distract po. Thank you.
Thank you, Lutz. Okay. Then, of course, we learned about the consequences, the loss of lives, lifelong trauma, loss of property, and self-working development, and a killing blow to the economy. Okay. Those are the consequences which we should have at the forefront of our planning when we have that one. Okay. And nakalagay dito po, if you're going to read it again, just a review. If you truly want to make a difference, ito sa baba po, sa baba ng slide, naka-bold. If you really want to make a difference, truly want to reduce the number of fires and fire deaths, you must go offensive. Okay? You have to sell your programs, create a need the community to hear what you have to say. So how do you sell your programs? The community must have the appreciation of the programs in order for the programs to be what? Be appreciated. You have to sell it. How do you sell it? You insert what? Elements. You insert ingredients or recipes for appreciation, which is cooperativeness and PR. Okay, pasukan mo siya. Okay. Again, on the concepts of fire prevention, we have fire prevention so everybody's concerned. Okay, this will motivate people to really join us in our fight against in our advocacies against fire safety. Against incidents of fire. Then, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Ibig sabihin po, this is not only a social issue, but it's also economical issue. Okay? Then, conservation versus preservation. Letting people know kung bakit we are fire protection, hindi fire prevention ang pangalan natin. So, di ba? So, we're trying to tell them that we are here to preserve everything. And that concept comes from the word preservation. So, you must have to understand what is conservation versus preservation. Okay? Okay, then to highlight what are those things to be highlighted by a first education program. These are top fire causes, regional risk, seasonal fire causes, specific groups at risk, okay, and behavioral risk, okay. I believe I've given you enough examples of that this morning, okay. So again, just a review. Steps in creating a program, we have assess the need, identify, prioritize. Step 3, goals and objectives. Step 4, development strategy, implement, and monitor, evaluate. But how about a fire safety program? We have conduct of community risk analysis, which we have been doing during our OLP, during our CFPP. Then we develop community partnership because we are now working under the principles of cooperativeness or the recipe of participation. We're having that. Okay, then we now create an intervention strategy with our new partners. Okay, then we implement the program. We implement the strategy of the program. Of course, again, kasama ang ating partners. And then we evaluate the results, the impact, the influence in the community. Okay. Diba? Ano po sinabi kanina sa this morning? What will be the result? The result of the program is that they should be accepted as part of the basic social services of the society. So, kung kailangan nila ng food, kailangan nila ng market, kung kailangan nila ng water, they should also consider fire safety as a basic need now for their development. I mean, for the continuity, the business continuity, for the preservation of everything in the community. So, when you make a program, it should be well appreciated that they would consider it as, uy, kailangan namin yan. Okay. Parang kung wala to, di sila mabubuhay. So, that would be the apex or the main ultimate goal of a fire safety program. Okay. They should now be included as a basic service of the community. Okay. Now, the 5-step process. Okay. Those are that. Okay. Again, the intervention. Your interventions would focus on for prevention. The components of fire prevention, which are the education, engineering, enforcement, and investigation. Don't you ever forget that. Okay. Diyan lang tayo nag-iikot. When you say fire prevention, when you say components, these are the components: education, engineering, enforcement, and investigation. Okay. Okay. Okay, then we discussed about political desirability. Hey, Ludes, teka. Hello, Ludes. Hello, Ludes.
Yes po, sir.
Tanong ko lang, kanina umaga nag-pray ba kayo?
Nag-pray? Hindi
Oo.
po.
Kalimutan ko. Sige, pwede mag-pray tayo muna. Na kalimutan natin, we should always, anyway, it's not too late to pray. Pray tayo nga tayo. Last marker, take charge.
Okay, sir. Good Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, good afternoon. Lord, sana mapaliwanagan kami para mamaraan kami ng katotohanan, magamit namin sa pang-araw-araw naming trabaho. And sana hindi ako mawalan ng signal and lahat ng classmate ko hindi mawalan ng signal para patuloy naming maantabayan ang napakagandang pagbibigay kaalaman ni Sir. Yan naman po. Amen. In the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Okay, amen.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Nakatawa si paring
Amen.
Anyano. Nakatawa si paring Anyano. Natuwa sa'yo. Wala na signal. That was a very good prayer. Tama-tama naman. Okay. Okay, now we go back. Again, just a review. Si Ivy, sa balutan na si Ivy. Alis na ba si Ivy? Hindi pa? Okay. Okay. Sino ka pala yung kanyang umaga may santan? Meron nag-comment. Sino may santan sa harapan nila? Kumakain natin may santan na. Ah?
Yung may Rizal, sir.
Okay. Okay. May nag-comment kasi, sabi ng isa, Sir, ba't di humingi ng santan? Sabi ko, saan yung santan? Okay. Okay, again, what we're doing now is we're having a review. So, we're now on how a program should be sustainable. Again, don't forget, a program should have that ingredient of acceptability. Okay? Dapat ang tao gustong-gusto dito. Now, what would be the measurement of this? There should be political desirability, there should be social affordability, and there should be policy promotion. Okay. In order for a program to be what? Sustainable. Otherwise, it would what? It would end in natural death. Okay? It would meet a natural death. Mamamatay na lang. Tulad ng ibang project natin, if you remember yung ating KGFM, nalala niyo ba yung KGFM?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In KGFM, it's considered sure. Okay. Sabi nila, it died a natural death. Yung KGFM natin. Kasi nga, hindi nagkaroon ng sustainability. Hindi nabigyan ng magandang funding. Hindi nabigyan ng magandang support. So, it died a natural death. Okay. And, yes, may sinasabi ba sila? Meron sinasabi? Magaw kayong i-dismiss kasi you have to make your activity. Dapat yung activity sana sa Thursday ipapasa. But then, narinig ko usapan nyo kanina na hingi kayo ng mga early dismissal. So, it's fine by me as long as you pass to me your activity. So, mag-dismiss ako ng early mamaya. Okay ba, Lods?
Sir, Miss, ready na po kami for
Apo, inform Lods sa class marcher na kayo mamaya, i-dismiss ng early, pero yung time ko, yung dati pa rin ha, para sa record sa PPSC. Okay ba?
Okay po, sir.
Okay, so, let's go back. I believe you're ready now. Okay? Huwag matulog, Ivy ha. Pilos Ivy. Okay, so to go back, okay? Again, we're talking about a program's sustainability, okay? Ito po napaka-importante. Just like may example, if you recall our KGFM, okay? KD Junior Farm Marshall, I think it was in 1996 o 1997 ba yun? O 2006. I forgot. Basta something about the 6. And when Marlene was still at the office, si Marlene Celadenia, nasa region pa siya. And along with Madonna, sinama ko sila sa regional office ng DepEd because DepEd is ignorant of the KGFM. Wala silang alam si KGFM. So what I did was, binigyan ako ni Colonel Madrid ng 100 pesos because that time, Colonel Madrid was the chief IID, chief FSS. He gave me 100 pesos pamasahin namin papuntang DepEd. So we went to Rawis and I talked with the regional director. I told her, ma'am, meron pa kaming programa. It was a program between the BFP National and BFP and the DepEd National. And we're now asking for a memo where we can distribute now to our fire stations para makapag-coordinate sila sa kanilang DepEd offices. Well, the answer ang sagot ng DepEd director was, sir, wala kaming alam dyan. So, what I requested was, ma'am, can you verify po, and pag na-verify nyo po na meron talagang programa, can you issue us now a directive directing all DepEd offices to cooperate with the Bureau of Fire. After 3 days po, tumawag yung DepEd, and we did that. We did the coordination. Lahat na po tayo nagtrabaho ng KGFM. And nagapiro pa kami sa we have now the CONCON ng MANCOM, Mines and Command of the DepEd. We also did a presentation with Colonel Alaba before. And then hanggang nakarating po tayo sa Olympics din sa Camarines Sur. You had your Olympics with Colonel Santiago baga before sa may SM. And then we also had our Olympics here at Legazpi sa Bicol University. It was funded by Bicol University. So maganda. But then, after all those things, after all those successes we had with KGFM, nagkaroon siya ng natural death because there was no sustainability. Nagkaroon po siya ng kulang ng ano. Anong kulang niya? Meron siyang policy promotion. The program was promoted kasama ibang agency. Ang kulang niya po was political desirability. Okay. We didn't have much support for the KGFM. And it died a natural death. It was only last year when the CRS was created. Doon sa meeting namin sa NHQ, nag-voice out yung iba, Sir, patay na ba yung KGFM o buhay pa? That was a turning point sa National Office for them to really issue ng memo that wala na yung KGFM. So other than that, nalaman namin yung KGFM pala, 2017 pa siya nawala. And yet, nagtrabaho pa tayo ng trabaho. And we were not informed properly. So, what happened to the program was, nagkaroon siya ng lack of sustainability. So, that is why it is very important that when you create a program now, you must have these 3 factors of acceptability. Okay, nakuha nyo ba? There must be acceptability. Okay, so again, number 1 acceptability is political desirability.
Hindi ka na kay hindi na ako.
Excuse me, Sir Guyon, naka-open yung audio mo po.
Okay na, Loads?
Thank you, sir. Apo.
Sino yung late? Si parang Christopher, naka-on pang microphone. So, can I continue now, Lutz?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, ang dami nating naka-open yung audio sa Radasa, sa Ribudal. Paki-close po ng audio po. Sir thank you, sir. Sir Aramis, okay na po.
Oh, may tanong okay, Jansen. Loads. Pwede magtanong
Yes,
kay
sir.
Jansen. O, kasi kanina pa ako nahilo kay Jansen eh. Paiba-ibang angulo ng camera niya.
Dala ko kasi sir yung ano po, kasi minsan nawawala po sa laptop yung connection.
Oh, it's okay.
Backup ako, sir.
Natakala kasi ba't iba-ibang itsura ni Jansen dito? Ibang angulo. Akala ko umikot yung camera mo. Hindi, okay lang naman. Ano lang naman yun? Intermission yun, Jansen? Intermission ba yun? Okay. At saka, for you to note, ang dami ko ng picture mo. Ang dami ko na screenshot ng mga angle mo. Mamaya upload ko. Okay. So, going back, okay. So, again, to ensure that there is a sustainability of the program, hindi siya nagkaroon ng natural death, you must have these 3 factors. Acceptability, political desirability, which means there must be a mutually reinforcing link, okay? Para magkaroon ng participatory, okay? Then, yung second is social affordability. Okay. Social affordability, again, to means that this should be accepted, the program now should be accepted as part of basic social protection, okay, or basic services, okay. For this pertains to what? Specific for hazards. They try to focus on specific for hazards. Halimbawa, rapo-rapo. The case of rapo-rapo in 2014, 3 purok po naubos doon. Siguro during the time ni parang Anyano, nasa office ko siya noon sa region, when the rapo-rapo was on fire. Oh. Naalala mo yun, parang Anyano? Nasa office ka pa noon, 2014? Nasa region ka pa? Ito.
Wala na po sir, nasa pilit na ako noon.
Okay. Okay, so we were sent to Rapo-Rapo to address that big fire. Okay, nagkasabay yung big fire sa Rapo-Rapo and a fire in nagkaroon ng sunog sa Sorsogon, nagkaroon sunog sa Kamsur, okay? Nagkaroon ng sunog sa Pakakay, and they said it was caused by Rapo-Rapo. Okay, but later on wala yun din nangyari. Hindi totoo yun. Now, Rapo-Rapo during the time ayaw nilang mag-support si BFP. Because if given to Rapo-Rapo, ang liliit ng kanilang ang kalilit ng kanilang ang kalilit ng kanilang daanan, pagbaba mo ng pantalan, 1.5 meter ang lapad, hanggang sa buong bayan ng Rapu-Rapu, that was that kind of roads they have. So, hindi sila masyadong sa fire. Okay? But when it happened, and the Bureau of Fire were there, we were there, andun tayo, nag-stay tayo dun almost a month, they appreciated what we are, o who we are, and what we are capable of. So, mula noon, I mean, after a month ata, or 2 months after, nagbigay sila ngayon ng lot donation. Because the fire protection that we have shown to them, sabi nila, siguro, we can have more kung meron ditong fire station wherein a total fire protection package will now be delivered to Rapu-Rapu. So that was a turning point for them. Now, the program now becomes a need of the community. Okay, so that is about social affordability. There must be what? There must be acceptance that it should be part of the social protection ng isang lugar. Okay? Okay? Never mind the author. Di kilala yung author na yun. Okay? Forward. Okay? Now, of course, if you have a program, the program won't be so effective if the program, nang ginawa yung program, napagandang program, it can't be implemented. Okay? So, part of the program is that it must have the elements of the learning style, okay? Effective teaching, public relation, and you have your focus, your risk population focus, then evaluation and assessment, okay? And it must carry what? Principles. It must carry maxims, it must be guided by quotes and all for the program to be magkaroon siya ng sa tawag na guidance and truism, okay? Okay. That's it, the learning styles, okay? Effective teaching, okay? This is a review. Then we have the PR, okay? Again, example na to, the PR, your program must be well presented, okay? You must put adjectives, adverbs to describe the program for it to be more appealing to the public, okay? And then, okay, that's it, okay? That's it, okay? Professionalism, okay? Sabi ko nga, the program, when you create a program, there must be what? It must be laced with professionalism. Ibig sabihin po, the program must, developmental. It must transform those who went under the program, when they came out, they are developed, okay? They have the impact ng programa, okay? Ano impact sa programa nila? They became part of their life. They learn now to prevent. They learn now to what? To help others. They learn now what to do before and after a crisis, okay? Or a fire incident, okay? Now we go to the programs ng ating ng PFP. Okay, siguro by 3 o'clock tapos tayo. Okay, okay lang ba yung Lods? Lods, okay lang ba? Si Lods.
Yes, sir. Opo.
Okay. Okay, now, just to give you an overview ng ating mga dating programa, these are actually, when you consider this, tawag natin dito, fire safety education programs, but actually, if you're going to, sabi nga, make himay, if you're going to really go into this, these are not programs, these are projects. Kaya lang, before, ang tawag natin dito is, what? Programs. So, we have the WISH, tama ba? Workers, Information, Safety, and Hazards. We have the house, the homeowners, users, safety education. We have the edit, or the edits, the exit drills in the home and schools. We also have the SDR, the stop, drop, and roll. And we have the USB. The USB, di ba? Ugnayan sa barangay. Okay. Ayan. Before that, I'm going to show you some some projects more. Some more projects. Okay. Some more projects. Okay. Okay, just some more projects. If you're my friend in Facebook, okay, wala tuloy. Please bear with me, guys. Okay. Uy, ang dami kong picture. Padala niya, no, ni Evelyn. Okay. This one, no, what's this Johnson? No, wrong. This is me. Okay. Just a minute, guys. I'm going to show you my some more projects. Ito na. Okay. This one, the photos, the albums, and we have this one. Nakita nyo ba? Loads?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Teka, just going to my album. I have an album here. Ito. You may visit them. You may friends sa Facebook. You may visit them. Okay. Okay. Can you see? Kita nyo ba?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. These are projects. Okay, projects yan. Ang pinaka-main program is Fire Safety and Prevention program. Okay. Now, sabi ko ba kanina, how do you achieve a program? You divide them into projects. You divide them into the need. Okay? Ano bang need? Okay? For example, this one, no, this is a Fire Safety Education program, a project. Okay, ito yung isa. Oh. Ayan, okay. Reducing fire hazards in schools. Okay, this was requested by Bicol University. So, I did a lecture. Okay, these are projects, ha. Ang pinaka-program natin is Fire Safety Education program, but then there are needs of the school, and these are sectors which you have to what? We have to go into. So, this become now a project. This was in 2014. Oh. Ako pa din yung chief ng IID. Okay. This is a project. So, we have to answer to the call, to the request of the school. Okay. And we also have several projects here. Okay. Dagdag na project. Okay. This one. Okay. This one. This is very unique. But you can find your a basis for this in FEMA. Flood fire safety. This is very unique, diba? Naiiba eh. Meron bang fire sa flood? Yes, meron. And may reference is FEMA. There is an article there is a lesson in FEMA which I took and I used it as a reference. So when Kamalig Barrio requested, this was actually a program of the Air Force. Nagturo sila sa barangay and they need somebody to give fire safety dun sa mga bahain na lugar. So there was a topic, flood fire safety, and I took it and nilecture ko po ito in 2014, February 2014, in Barrio, Kamalig. Okay, these are projects, these are not program. Because our program is fire safety and prevention, we wanted people to have this as part of their life, so we answer to what they want to hear from, what to learn from us, okay? Meron pa dito. Ang dami po ditong nagawa natin project for, okay, this one. This one. Okay. This is another project of ours. Okay. Fire safety visit. Okay. So, yung mga, siguro, di nyo pa narinig ito, but we use this. I created all these programs, these projects. Ako pa naggawa ng mga projects na yan, if you don't know me yet. I created all these projects just to achieve the program of the BFP. So, kulang naman yung binibigay ng national, binigay nila program lang. So, it is now up to you guys, to implement the program. You have to divide the program into projects. And these are examples of those projects I created just to make sure that the program is delivered. So this is another project of the BFPR 5. Yan. Fire safety visit. This is now intended for hotels before. Okay. Okay, we have this. We have even this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, kung naalala nyo po yung nasunog yung yung depo ng ng army. Sa Krami ba 'yon? Fort Bonifacio. Nung sumabog. Nalala nyo? Okay. Pumunta sila sa office because they received a memo that all logistics command should have a training with the BFP. Okay. So, pumunta sa akin yung City of Legazpi. Sabi nila, sir, alam namin may training sa US Department of Defense. So, can you help us out with this training? So, may sinasabi kayo? May sinasabi ba? Lods? Do you have questions? May questions ba tayo?
Naka-open. Wala po.
Okay. Okay, so this request also for training would also redound to the achievement of our program, which is fire safety and prevention program. Okay? Meron pa dito, just to give you more examples. Yan. Give examples. Okay, this now for this one. Meron dito. Schools. Meron tayo dito. This one, okay. And this one, singit lang. This may lecture sa FAIC din last time. May lecture sa FAIC last time din. Ako nag-lecture niyan. So, ilan ba yun? 2 years ago? 3 years ago. Okay, singit lang yan. Okay, this one is school. Okay, ito. Okay. Ayan po. Okay. Okay, I created this one. IDRRM. Kung meron tayong e-governance, meron din tayong IDRRM. Interactive Learning on Disaster Risk Reduction Management. Okay. So this was appreciated by OCD. Ibigay nga siya ng appreciation because of this. Okay, this for school. Again, this is a project geared towards the implementation ng ating program. Okay? This is just for schools. Okay. Meron dito examples of projects, di ba? Meron dito. Ito naman. Okay. Ito. Another fire safety for sa mga uniform personnel ulit. This one is for the Navy. Okay. Then, this one. Okay, this is more significant. Ito po. This is more significant. Nakikita nyo ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is more significant because nagsulat sa atin yung UP ay yung national office, sabi nila walang trainer daw pagdating sa reduction of dioxins and furans, you know. Ang title kasi ng letter nila a resource person on the reduction of dioxins and furans. Okay. Walang makakasagot niyan kasi ginamit nila a scientific word. Reduction of dioxins and furans. Okay. So, ginawa ng National Office, sa atin binigay sa region kasi nga dito sa sa Oriental Hotel mag-lecture. So, binigay sa akin ni Sir Bundok, sabi ni Sir Bundok, sagutin mo na nga to na wala tayong speaker niyan kasi dapat yung mga chemist. Sabi ko, sir, sa atin po itong lecture. Sabi niya, bakit? Ano ba ibig sabihin niyan? Ibig sabihin po na ng dioxins and furans, these are what? These are emissions. These are controls pag meron pong sunog sa basura. Sabi ni Sir Bundok, General Bundok, ganun po yung pare. Sabi niya, ako sir, opo, sige na, kaya mong gawin yan, kaya na mag-lecture. So, I did the presentation, and there was 10 sessions. Per session was 5 days. So, 10 besta po tayo in Region 5 nag-lecture sa UP, and I was awarded with a citation by the UP that I am no UP speaker. Okay. So, walang palakpakan dyan, ha? Walang kayo papalakpak yan. So, kaya if you are a program implementer, huwag kang matakot sa title. Okay? You go deeper. Okay? You must understand what is the need of the community so you would be able to deliver what the community wants. Okay? This is just like what? When you create a program, this is like what? Environmental scanning. Okay? You scan the environment. Okay? So this is most significant because BFP 5 is now recognized by UP. Na-recognize na ng UP. Sabi ng UP, sir, galing kami ng Cagayan, walang speaker doon na taga BFP. Dito lang pala sa Bicol lang may speaker na BFP. So tuwang-tuwa sila. Okay? Okay, meron pa dito ng isa that namutik na nating i-refuse, but sabi ko, this is part of the program of fire safety and prevention. Okay? Itong program. Meron pa isa dito. Ito. Okay. This is also very significant. Okay. Okay. Ang sabi din dito ng ating RD noon, ano bang pwedeng i-lecture natin? Kasi nagsulat yung DNR, sabi nila, you would like a speaker on a speaker, source person for our program, yung wetlands day observance. So sabi nila, sabi ng RD natin noon, parang wala tayong speaker dyan. So binigay ulit sa akin. So sabi ko, sir, it's part of our fire safety management, which is also geared towards the accomplishment of a fire safety program. Okay. Sabi niya, ano bang pwede natin i-lecture dyan? Sabi ko, sir, kung pag-usapan, sir, at wetlands ecosystem o wetlands day, dapat kako, sir, magturo tayo niya ng management ng smoke, management ng fire, how, if we control the fire in the wetland area, ang epekto niyan sa environment. Sabi niya, sir, sige, ikaw na mag-lecture. So what I did was, I did again a lecture with DNR, and this was the lecture. And tuwang-tuwa naman po yung DNR because you were able to comply with the needs of the environment, with the needs of our fellow government agencies. So, ibig sabihin po nito, our safety program, it should be comprehensive. Tulad ng example ko doon sa map. Naalala niyo yung map kanina? Yung map ng Piuduran, depression map niya.
Yes, sir.
Oo. Yung map niya kasi kanina, masyadong inclusive, 'di ba? Dapat exclusive. Now, if you're going to make a program sa lugar mo, wala ka dapat pipiliin because you're committed na lahat sila dapat turuan mo. Now, kung hindi mo siya nararating, do you think kumpleto ang ginagawa mo? Hindi rin po, di ba? Nagkukulang ka. So, kawawa naman yung mga tao doon. Okay. You must make way that hanggang doon sa unreachable, you make way. Pwedeng LBC mo siguro. LBC mo na lang yung lesson doon. Cap, ano ba Cap? Doon ka sa barangay captain. Doon ka sa DLGs. Sir, ma'am, pwedeng malaman yung pangalan ng kapitan address. O maybe you can email or maybe you can send by courier yung safety lectures mo o safety flyers mo para distribute niya doon sa area niya. Well, that kind would also help in delivering our safety program. Okay, so hindi pwedeng unreachable, putol ka na doon. Okay, so sabi ko nga kanina, the answer of those people at the station was kulang ng guidance ng how they would really go about with the program of the BFPs. Kulang sila ng guidance. Okay, so just one more example. Just one more example. Ito. Okay, yan po. During the ASEAN, okay, we did this. Okay. Again, this is again for the safety hotels of the hotel. So, pinapasok natin lahat. Wala sa libro ng BFP, but pag sinabi ng BFP, ng National Command that, itong program, gawin nyo to. All you have to do is what? You divide now the program into projects. Do you understand me? Nakuha nyo ba? Luz?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pag binigyan ka ng project, ng program, in order for you to deliver the program effectively, divide them into projects. Okay. Then you add project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4. That would equal the program. Okay. Okay, ganun po yun. But in your case, sa case po natin, you can also make your own program. You just follow the steps. Okay? That's the last of my example. Okay? You can just visit my Facebook, yung mga friends sa Facebook po. Okay. You can visit the Facebook. Okay. Now, going back to our slide. Ayan. Yan. Ito na. Assessment and evaluation. Okay, this is most important. Sabi ko nga, one example of this is the PRA, or the Program Review and Analysis. Okay. Again, when you talk about program review, the program would mean you have your you have your tables, ba? And your review would mean the comparison. 2019, first quarter of 2019 versus first quarter of 2020. So kukunin mo siya, your review now would pertain to the ratings. Tumaas ba siya, bumaba? Now, kung tumaas siya, ano ibig sabihin kung tumaas siya? Nag-increase siya. Diba? Tapos sabihin mo, we had accomplished 24% increase. Ano ngayon kung increase ka? Diba? Ganun ang tanong eh. Diba? Katapos mo siya mag-versus yung dalawa, ang tanong kaagad is, ano ngayon? Kung nag-increase ka. Now, so the next step would be, you create an analysis. You analyze now, bakit ka nag-increase? So, you have to track back, alamin mo ngayon kung bakit meron kang success. Kung ikaw naman nag-decrease, you have to go back, you have to backtrack, alamin mo din kung bakit ka nag-decrease. Okay. So that your kompleto. Program, may program ka na, you presented the program, na-present mo yung review is the increase, decrease, and then na-present mo yung analysis. Otherwise, if you don't have your analysis, hanggang PR ka lang, wala kang A. You get me? Ludes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is a PRA. Program, Review, and Analysis. Okay, now, how about the fire safety program? How do you rate them? Okay. Nakalagay dito, goal-based evaluation. Okay, goal-based evaluation because what are the goals? Ano ba yung goal ng ating programa? What is the goal of your safety program? Okay. Okay, so to read, goal-based evaluations are evaluating the extent to which programs are meeting predetermined goals or objectives. Okay. Then, questions to ask yourself in designing an evaluation to see if you reach your goals are, okay, now these are not the questions, okay? Whether you have achieved a goal-based, achievement of your goal-based, okay? Number 1, how were the program's goals and objectives established, okay? Paano mo na-establish yung program? Did you do your environmental scanning? Nag-profiling ka ba? Pumunta ka ba sa high profile mo? Did you consult your data on CFPP, kung saan yung mga red area, okay? Then, was the process effective? Yun, di ba? So, these are the questions to guide you. Number 2 question is, what is the status of the program's progress toward achieving the goals? Now, eto na, you're going to make your timeline. What is the progress? Ano ba yung timeline? Kailan mo siya implement? Okay. Then, you have to count short term, medium term, and long term. Halimbawa, the program is good for a year. You have to divide now the year into what? By quarter or by semester. You have to divide them. You have to get what? You have to keep track of the progress ng program mo. Okay? So that you don't forget that. Because you are aiming for the goal. Tulad ng pupunta ka ng Camarines Sur, punta ka ng Camarines Norte, kung wala kang sariling sasakyan, saan ka unang bababa? Camarines Sur. Para lilipat ko ulit ng sasakyan pa Camarines Norte. Tama ba, Lods?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is how you track a program, okay? You track the program's progress. Mag-establish ka ng mga stations mo, okay? Mag-establish ka ng mga terminals mo, o bus terminals mo, parang magbiyahe ka, mga bus terminals mo, wherein, pag hinto doon, meron kang indicator. You have to keep track, you have to monitor, okay? Para masiguro mo, pagdating sa end, na-accomplish mo lahat, okay? So, if you're expecting 100%, ilan dapat ang stations mo dapat. Kung 25, 25, 25, dapat ilang stations, ilang bus terminal, 4. So you have to monitor the progress, okay? So number 3 question on monitoring of of your goal. Will the goals be achieved according to the timelines specified in the program or operations? If not, then why? Okay, so sabi ko nga, while you are monitoring, makikita mo na yung progress mo because you're going to divide, like 100%, you have to divide it into 4. So the first is short term mo, the medium term, and the long term, alamin mo dapat yung progress. You expect 25%, bakit siya hindi na 25%? So, bago siya makarating sa next terminal, sa next implementation ng program, meron ka ng dagdag ditong corrective action so that the next terminal, makumpleto siya. Okay. So, when you reach the last part, the last terminal, you are now able to come up with your 100%. Okay. So, that is how you monitor the progress. Okay. Now, this one, the person have adequate resources, money. These are not for the implementers. Okay. The program must be complete, must be comprehensive. So, if you have a program, you need people to implement this. Now, the question is, do they have the adequate resources? Do they have the equipment, facilities, training, etc.? Okay. For training, wala problema sa training because you are now enrolled in the subject. You are now trained. Okay. Tapos ito, mamayang 4 o'clock, tapos na tayo, you are now trained on implementing a program and creating a program. But the question is, do you have the equipment? Do you have the facilities? And to think that this is now a COVID era, iba na ngayon ang dating, do you think you are equipped for this era? Okay. Like we're having now the memo from OLP. We are now requested to do a radio guesting for 45 minutes. That is for 2 times, I think twice a month. Twice a month, kung di ko kamali. Twice a week ba o twice a month? Now, kung wala ka namang masyadong resources, do you think radio stations would accept you to do that twice a month guesting sa radio? Well, that's a big challenge. You now have to create a program or a project that when you present it to the radio stations, pag pinakita mo, pag sinulat mo, they would say, yes, sige po, kahit po siguro 3 beses. Because you would not be making a program or project that it would be appealing. Sabi ko nga, magkaroon siya ng acceptability. Sabihin ng tama sir, gusto niyo sir, damihan niyo yung guesting dito kasi kailangan talaga namin yan. There must be appeal. There must be a taste of PR. There must be a taste of professionalism sa program mo. So, people now, or the registration itself would say, yes po, kahit damihan niyo pang beses dito sa amin. Okay? So, number 5, how should priorities be changed to put more focus on achieving the goals? Now, how should priorities be changed? Okay, this would depend on your output. Okay, because you have to put your ano ba tatawag doon? You would be able to put your criteria on evaluation. Like per station or per like short term, ano bang hanapan mo short term? Diba? What will be those criteria? Okay? So, pag na-achieve yun, malaman mo kung anong dapat baguhin o hindi. Okay? Now, yan. How should timelines be changed? Do you shorten? Does it need to be shortened? Like yung KGFM, kailangan na palang i-shorten, hindi naman na-shorten. Hindi pa nagkaroon ng meeting sa national, hindi pa nalaman natin na wala na pala yung KGFM. Because there was no pronouncement that it died a natural death. So, like a program, how should timelines be changed? Okay. Again, if you have your review, if you were able to create your monitoring by timeline, you would know whether it should be changed or not. Okay. Now, how should goals be changed? The same po. How should goals be changed? Okay. You, the creator of the program, will know what are those things that need to be changed. Kasi ikaw pong gumawa ng programa mo. Okay? And your programa, sabi ba natin, these are based on realities. Because you're looking toward the consequences. Ano ba? Like Camaranesur. Ano bang uso sa Camaranesur? Pag nasunugan dito, ano bang uso? Uso ba dito ang kandila? Uso ba ang sunog sa kalan? Uso ba dito ang sa coastal area? Uso ba yung nasunugan yung bahay-bahay? So, you have to, you have to, how do you call this? You have to make a default, okay? The programs must have a default. Ibig sabihin po, meron siyang core, a basic reference mo ng problema so that you can be able to create a program wherein kung sa ikaw mismo marunong mag-troubleshoot. Okay. Now, these evaluations, the question on how should timelines be changed? How should goals be changed? These are what? These are now your troubleshooting. The creator or those author of the programs can only troubleshoot what they have created. Okay? Ganun po yun. So, when you create, hindi ka basta gagawa ng susulat-sulat ka lang dyan, memo mo, CSW, wala, tapos na. Hindi po. You must go around, you must have a wide understanding ng palibot mo, and then you propose intervention, then you create partnership, and with your partners, you go to implementation, and from implementation, you go now into evaluation. Ano yung minention ko? Those were the 5-step process in creating a program planning, for the program planning, okay? Yan. Then, meron kang dapat na way forward. What is the way forward? Ano bang next step? How should goals be established in the future? Okay, ganun po yun. Okay. How, bawa, nagkaroon ka ng 100%. Ano ngayon sunod mo? Uy, tumalab ito. Oh, what will be the way forward? Okay, so next year ulit, gagawin ko to, pero I would expect, instead of 100%, expect ako ng 150%. Okay, so you're going to add more ingredients para magkaroon siya ng achievement of that 150% for next year. So, the creator of the program now is the one who can troubleshoot and can predict what would be the next step. A way forward. You must have your way forward. Okay? So, this time, sabi ko nga, you have to go back. Okay. Sabi ko nga, come here. Okay, so sabi ko nga po, when you speak of a program, when you speak of a project, it must be appealing. Nalala ba yung word appealing? Nalala niyo ba, Lods? Ano pa si Lods? Wala na?
Sir, nandito po ako.
Okay, so a program must be appealing. So,
Appealing.
a program must be appealing. Also, a project must be appealing. Because the project will implement the program. Okay. Now, how should you implement a project? Okay. When you now talk with people, when you go down to the community, when you're presenting the project, like a program, it must be appealing. Okay. Now, look at these examples I have on the screen. Nakita nyo ba? I have 6 examples. Nakita nyo ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss Alma, nakita mo ba, Miss Alma? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Maganda ba tingnan? Parang Jessie, maganda ba tingnan? Ha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's because you're trying to motivate people to listen, di ba? Meron kang isang programa, maganda yung programa mo, naglaway na sila sa programa mo, ngayon, hinatiin mo pa siya sa deliverables or projects. Okay. Sa kada project mo, you must have different features ng itsura. Features that would what? That would want them to know more about it. That is why, ang sabi sa rule of presentation, kung naalala nyo pa, what is the number 1 rule in presentation? Okay. When you present your program or your project, what's the number 1 rule? Particularly when you're using PowerPoint, what's the number 1 rule? Or meron kang folder lang, what's the number 1 rule? Sino maka-volunteer? What is the number 1 rule in presentation? Wala? Si Lods?
Sir.
Ano bang number 1 rule sa presentation? Wala ba? Nakalimutan nyo na? Kalimutan ba, Lods? Okay. The number one rule in presentation is that you must connect your audience. I must connect with the audience starting with your first slide or with the cover of the book. Okay? Kung meron kang manuscript, title pa lang, disconnects your audience or the attended reader to the contents of the book. Now, if you're using PowerPoint, first slide pa lang, sabihin ng tao, uy, upo na tayo para makistart na, parang ang ganda ng laman. Nakuha nyo ba? The first rule in presentation is that you must be able to connect the audience or the intended participants to the content with your first slide. Nakuha nyo? Unang itsura pa lang, yung tao, interesado nang umupo, hindi na sila mag-iingay because they want to know more kung anong laman ng presentation mo. Okay. Kung wala kang presentation na PowerPoint, yung manuscript mo, isang itsura pa lang, ay, parang maganda, basahin ko na nga yan. Itsura pa lang. Yes, Ludes? Meron sinasabi?
May naka-open yata yung camera. Sir, ma'am, pang-mute ng audio po. Okay na po, sir.
Okay, so again, the first rule in presentation, if you want to make an impression, is that you must be able to connect your first slide. I'm talking now of a PowerPoint, they call this, ang tawag nga sa PowerPoint, tools, okay. Nagkasing tool nga ang PowerPoint. Okay, sige. I-tool na siya, okay. When you're using PowerPoint, the first slide nyo na po, pinakaunang slide, must connect now your audience to you and to the content. Sabihin nila, uy, huwag na tayo maingay kasi parang napakaganda ng laman yan. Okay. So that is the secret now. That's the first step in making your presentation. If you're having a program, the program must be appealing from cover to cover. Also with the manuscript, if you have a manuscript, it must also be appealing. It must look formal. Okay? Or you can add graphics that would connect the intended reader to the content. Particularly po, if you're using the PowerPoint. Okay? Because the PowerPoint is very visual. Isang tingin pa lang, like the first slide, be safe for life. Isang tingin pa lang, interesado sila kaagad. So, wala, di ka pa nag-umpisa, di ka pa nag-open ng bunganga mo, yung tao mismo ay nahuli mo na. Diba? So, that is how you make a first impression when you're going to present your projects. Again, projects are used to what? To deliver a program. Okay? You have a big program, okay? Hatiin mo siya into projects in order for it to be delivered fully. Okay, now, at the bottom, meron dito yung first extinguisher and military safety check. I have a video for that. Okay? Do you love videos? Guys? Gusto ng videos?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is also part of the strategy. And this is also part of how you deliver a program or how you highlight what you want them to do. I mean, to understand. Okay. So, believe me when I say that I was the first one to use this in Bicol and napasa-paso na po ito. Pero this is available sa ibang resources. But I believe I was the first one to use this and then naipasa ko na sa mga kasama natin. Okay. Let me show you the video. Ito po.
Meron ka
rito. Sino ba dito ko?
Bolada.
Sir, negative po ang video.
Tapos sir yung video.
Wala bang video?
Wala, sir, negative.
Ako sir, negative.
Wala bang video?
Wala po.
Wala sir, wala sir.
Pero meron sa
Kayo, Jesus siya, pero walang video.
Okay. Sige, ulit natin. Take two. Malang bayad sa sinihan, ha? Take two tayo. Yan ba? Okay na?
Negative.
Negative pa rin ba?
Wala po, sir.
Sir.
Sir, negative po. Negative po, sir.
Video.
Okay. Lutz, open mo messenger. May pasok ko sa'yo. I-play mo sa'yo. Okay ba? Ludi?
Ay, sir. Sir.
Oh.
Hindi kasi ako marunong mag-operate, pero tatawag ako ng IT.
Sige. Ipasa ko sa messenger mo, ha?
Apa.
Sinong pwede kong pasahan dyan? About si Ayen. Ayen, bukas pang messenger mo? Ayen?
Wala, sir, ang ano ko. Try ko po, sir. Try ko.
Sino mo nakabukas sa Facebook dyan?